time, change is important. And one thing is for sure, in the battlegrounds, we're witnessing a lot of those. Welcome to Android BGMS Season 3, powered by Garnier Men, where I'm going to be a host and caster Necro. John alongside with me on the panel. It's going to be scary yet once again. And I spoke about the changes, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you change the IGL of a team and it seems the team starts to perform like none other. And we've seen so many examples of that.
Yeah.
Yes, Godlike, one of the teams where Jelly took a backseat, Punk stepped in, and imagine Godlike is in almost the top 12 of the entire leaderboard. Another team that stepped up yesterday itself was Mogo Esports. I mean, Destro, he decided to take back a seat, leave the team for 2 matches in the hands of Robin, and Robin just decided, you know what, time to get this team a second place and a chicken dinner.
I mean, Mogo Esports, they had a really phenomenal day yesterday, but not just Mogo Esports, even Entity Gaming had a really good game. They started things off on the 12th spot in the overall standings, and now they're in the top 4. Imagine that leap was so big that now Entity Gaming, they're just shaking all the competition. And this is the best part about this entire league stage, is now that even the latter half of the board is starting to come back to life.
Absolutely true, because when I was looking at the leaderboard itself, right, up until 15th or 16th spot, the gap between that and the team on the 4th spot is not a lot of points. It's somewhere around 20-25 points, right? So you basically have one good game in which you try and claim the bounty on either of those teams, and you can take a massive leap in the leaderboard itself. We've seen Vashishta Esports do that one, and now since we're already talking about that, finally, the Kings have been dethroned.
Exactly. Vasista Esports dethroned. Not there at the top anymore. But then, how can you forget about the new dogs, man? Raven Esports, a team that just came in out of nowhere. This year itself, they have gained so much recognition for themselves. You've got a man like Reaper, AimGod, Hanzo. These 3 names should be more than enough to make sure that the opponent is going to be shaking. And Raven Esports is the only team that is bringing in the David versus Goliath storyline to life.
I really love the fact how they're playing in this one, because they're basically perfectly maintained both their finish points in the power play itself, as well as the bounty that this team has been claiming. If I'm not wrong, till now they've already claimed bounty 2 times, and they know how they need to play. It's not the first time that they're entering the top 4, so this is probably the second time when they'll have the bounty on their head, and they know how to maneuver around that. And again, the consistency is always key with this team, and with the way how players have been stepping up, it has been immaculate.
I mean, as I mentioned, right, Reaper and Hanzo, these 2 guys have been doing really good. Include AimGod in there too. That's the cherry on top of the cake.
चार लोग बात करें ऐसे ट्रॉफी जीतेंगे मेहनत पुरानी है नाम अब कमाएंगे हिस्ट्री अब लिखेंगे
I mean, Raven Esports, they perform phenomenally well, not just in this BGMS, but also in the past. They have played really well in the official tournament. They were the grand finalists, which did quite decent throughout the entire run. And now in the BGMS Season 3, at least in the Survival Week, this team is also dominating the competition. Looking at the stats itself, and that's going to be the prime example that I'm speaking of. Hulk with 7 finishes, Reaper with 13, AimGod with 14, and Hanzo is not that far behind with 10 points.
Fun fact, most of the players, they've got 3 finishes in the power play itself, right? Hulk 3, AimGod 3, Hanzo 3. Reaper is the only one who's basically decided to take a backseat on that power play. But still, you know that Reaper is the man who's basically giving nightmares to the side of Entity back in the map of Sanhok. I still remember this is the exact 1v3 that we've been talking about.
I mean, nothing taken away from the side of Entity as well, man. They completely screwed up. This was an easy clutch for Entity Gaming, but still somehow not been able to connect one single shot where Reaper was on such a critical health. This should not have been a clutch in the first place, but Entity, they choked massively. And you speak of some of the weird moments as well. I mean, Godlike and Raven Esports, they were fighting off against each other, but then a third party came in from OneBlade, and then OneBlade was the prime focus in that fight.
It's like both of them shook hands of truce and were like, you know what, let's take care of the team that's basically joined us for the third party. But honestly, talking about the teams that have been having some struggles, it's WSB as well in multiple of those fights too. And again, Raven Esports, they are the top dogs right now in the entire leaderboard. And if you basically move up against them, Raven will make sure to shut you down. This is the amount of strength that this team is carrying right now.
And one thing is for sure, I can tell you one thing about this team, and that is these guys are grinding really hard. Because if you try to compare this performance all the way back in the official tournament, Raven Esports, the improvement is there in the 4-on-4 fights, hands down. AimGod's able to perform really well. The same thing can be said for Reaper as well, because I still remember back in time when I was looking at this team, it was Reaper once who was really able to perform. But then later on, when Reaper was not able to perform, that's when AimGod stepped up. But now in this tournament, it's both the players stepping up at the same time. And you mentioned about Mogo Esports too. There's a ticker going on at the bottom. Robin now is coming into the play, while Destro is the one to take the back seat, and Mogo Esports is now doing really good.
I mean, they are basically running for the trophy without the trophy magnet himself in the lineup. You know, I understand the idea behind that, and I kind of like it as well, because again, Destro has been playing for a while now with the entire lineup. Almost every single team right now in the lobby, they know what their rotation looks like. So they are super ready to hold down and take the backseat in this matter.
मतलब मैंने इस लाइनअप के साथ इतने टूर्नामेंट्स जीते हैं, वो लेवल के टूर्नामेंट जो लोग सपने में भी नहीं सोच पाते हैं कि वो कभी उस स्टेज पे पहुंचेंगे भी, हमने वो साथ में जीते हैं। और मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि आप गेम के बाहर कैसे हो, वो गेम में रिफ्लेक्ट होता है। तो हम सारे गेम के बाहर भाई जैसे हैं, मतलब भाई से भी ज़्यादा ही मानते हैं एक दूसरे को। अभी रॉबिन भी वापस आ गया है, तो इतना कुछ फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता। परफॉर्मेंस डाउन है, कोई बात नहीं, हमें सॉल्यूशन निकालना आता है हर प्रॉब्लम का, तो वैसे ही आगे बढ़ते रहेंगे, बट साथ रहेंगे हमेशा।
I mean, Destro seems pretty confident on this entire lineup. He's saying that yes, Mogo Esports was struggling in the past, but it's completely fine. Now Robin's back in the driving seat. But Robin, I guess, he is still there, but Destro is back in action. Destro is going to be playing once again today. Now I want to see the performance. It's either it's going to be a dip or is it's going to be an improvement. Because one thing is for sure, yesterday's Robin's performance might have just motivated Destro.
Highly possible, right? Because it's just not just about how Robin performed himself, but also how the team itself went in, maneuvered around the entire area, because no one was expecting Mogo to win in that skirmish back on the map of Miramar. But even after that, Justin, Delta, you can see both of them just fragging out of their mind right now.
That's exactly what you need in the roster, right? Two the players just fragging out, then you've got one support fragger, and then you've got a complete support player in the back line as an IGL as well. But sometimes the IGL can also be the frontliners, and Vasista Esports is a prime example of that, because Shadow has always been the man to lead the pack. And looking at Mogo Esports' highlights too, yeah, some of the chokes, we have witnessed them in the past, especially that one single spray down that you saw. We all thought Mogo Esports were in the advantage, but then as they made the push against Godlike, they got hard countered.
Yes, that is indeed true. But again, you really like to see this team finally stepping things up, and that too from the situation where you do not really anticipate them to win. But even after that, that one flush out on the last play, if I'm not wrong, that was Atanki remaining of Orangutan as well, where we thought that they might be taken down.
Yep.
Even after that, Mogo really claiming that chicken dinner. And it's not just about one game, right? Even on the previous map of Erangel, yesterday, they managed to secure that second place. They almost could have won the fight against Carnival Gaming if it was not for CG, who were basically having a role after taking down GE and TF.
I mean, with these type of changes, it's also making sure that Mogo Esports is going to be really unpredictable inside of the battlegrounds, right? Because Robin coming in, definitely there's going to be a bit of that change in the playstyle. Then you bring back Destro once again, then there's going to be another change in the playstyle. Mogo Esports, they always like to aim for the bigger picture, right? And then talk about changes itself. Godlike, one of the biggest names in the entire Indian community, even they went through a massive change. Jelly was playing in the opening week, and Godlike was not able to perform. As soon as the league stage came through and they were inside of the league stage with the audience choice, Punk was the one to IGL the team, and you instantly saw the graph going up.
Absolutely. It seems like the team took an entirely new turn. It basically seems like we are seeing the prime Godlike slowly and steadily getting back, when they basically worked around in a well-knit unit as well and were making sure that they frag out left, right and center.
Yep.
And I still remember that we saw the change right in the first game and first map of Erangel. And we can see their head-to-head statistics as well, how they performed previously versus what they're doing right now.
Exactly. When Jelly was playing, they of course played 6 matches. They managed to get only 6 finishes in the span of 6 matches. Now that's really bad. As you move on forward and look at Punk's stats, they've played 8 matches so far, but 26 finishes. Miles better performance. And this is what I'm saying. As soon as Punk came into play, he knew exactly how to utilize this powerhouse. He knew that let's make Godlike an aggressive lineup now. Let's make sure that the players are going to be playing a little bit more aggressive, leading in the forefront, taking all the fights that they can.
Let's make Godel great again. Seems like that's his ideology. But yes, he's making sure that he's utilizing that extra bit of firepower that his team has. And normally when everyone was thinking maybe Jonathan is also not performing like he used to at Minnow when he was back in OA, he was basically fragging a good number, was not performing as much as we expected him to. Punk was super ready to bring out that extra bit of firepower as well. And as I was talking about, back on that map of Erangel, Godlike decided to move out of the circle to try and take those fights when they knew they had the advantage. Now this is the kind of extra finishes that we always try to find whenever you really want to leap up in that leaderboard, and this has been the ideology of Punk.
And speaking of the leap, even CG is now starting to come back to life, right? Yesterday they managed to get the first chicken dinner, and now CG feels like they're back in the race. Yes, under the IGLing of Hector, things are getting a little bit dicey, but I'm pretty sure as time moves on, CG will get the grip. But let's move on to a short break. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Wow. Circle to search. Only on Android.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Another day, another road, and we go. Arrive with a win, moving up, we know where to begin. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Arrive we go. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Another day, another road, and we go.
What's the worst that could happen? What's the best that could happen? Philips One Blade. Move fearlessly. Innovation and you. Philips.
Everywhere I go, dirt and pollution dull my skin.
Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. 2x brightening power. With charcoal and vitamin C, deeply cleanses dirt and pollution to fight dullness for instantly bright skin. Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. Try the #1 men's face wash in India. By Garnier Men.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
Everywhere I go, dirt and pollution dull my skin.
Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash with charcoal and vitamin C. Deeply cleanses dirt and pollution for instantly bright skin. Try the #1 men's face wash in India. Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash by Garnier Men.
What's up, everyone? Come on in.
I got 100 ways that I could make you look. You cannot read me, I ain't no page in a book. But there's 100 ways that I could make you look.
Wow.
Make you look.
Wow.
Look, make you look.
Yesterday, you can't say it was the day of comebacks. There were good vibes all across the board, but some teams were still left struggling. Teams like Entity Gaming, where the fans had a lot of hopes from them, made a big leap in the overall board, where now they're starting things off in the top 4. Let's look at some of the moments from yesterday's day. As the day started off, things were quite spicy in the map of Erangel because off the rip, we witnessed a heavy battle between two of the most stubborn teams in the battlegrounds yet, Carpadium versus WSP. But that's where WSP ended up choking the fight because the man number was not with Gods.
And since you've already mentioned about a team choking up the fight, Team Z as well, they tried to take down the members of Reckoning, but eventually it was come to the shotgun shots that came in a little bit later. There was some trifecta moments as well, but imagine if Ronnie was also able to get the one last remaining member. This would have been the third time Entity would have choked in, but as long as they stand, they moved up in that leaderboard.
Ronnie with that cheeky angle was definitely almost about to pull off that cheeky clutch, but then in the end, it was Carnival Gaming to snatch the game away. Carnival Gaming on the game of Miramar, the second game of the day, they started things off with quite a big slice and dice against the foes. But then later on, Hero Extreme Godlike, they faced off against Entity Gaming themselves, a team that was a force to be reckoned with on yesterday's day.
It was a perfectly played trap, which we also mentioned then and there. But since we're talking about the traps as well, 8-bit, all 8-bit almost fell into one itself against Team Tamilas, where we also saw a third party coming in from GE and RNT. And since we talk about RNT, they back off at the perfect time, only to take the fight against Team Z, which Team Z messed up.
Yeah, but it did not work out that well for the side of Raven Esports either. Orangutan was the final foe against the players of Mogo Esports, standing in their way our path of victory, and Mogo as well ended things on a great.
आज है लीग वीक 1 सर्वाइवर सीरीज का 5वां दिन, लेकिन ये जो हमने 8 दिन का अब तक खेल देखा है उसमें एक भी दिन सिमिलर नहीं लाया है, तो क्या रहा है। मैं आपका स्वागत करता हूं, मैं हूं सुरेंद्र सुंदरम एंड दिस इज द एंड्रॉइड प्रेजेंट्स BGMS सीजन 3 पावर्ड बाय गार्नियर मेन। अपना नाम बता चुका हूं, लेकिन शायद मेरे सवालों के जवाब मेरे दोस्त मेरे भाई के पास हों। क्रैट, गुड टू हैव यू। कैसा भाई?
हमेशा की तरह हैपनिंग और एक्साइटेड।
देखिए, हैपनिंग तो हमारे अब तक का एक्शन रहा है, क्योंकि इतने सारे सवाल जो जनता के दिमाग में है, मे बी यू हैव द आंसर्स। गॉड्स रेन, बाउंटी पॉइंट सिस्टम, जाते हैं दहलीज तक, दरवाजा खटखटाते हैं, कोई दरवाजा खोल नहीं रहा है, फिनिश निकाल नहीं पा रहे हैं, व्हाट्स हैपनिंग देयर?
बाउंटी टीम का सर्टेनिटी ऑब्वियस ही बात है कि आपको चारों प्लेयर को पिक ऑफ करना है, तभी जाके बाउंटी मिलेंगे। हाँ, वो कोशिश कर रहे हैं, बट कहीं ना कहीं सामने वाले बहुत दिमाग लगा रहे हैं, वो डिनाई कर रहे हैं बार-बार।
ऑलराइट, पॉप क्विज। ओपनिंग वीकेंड टॉप 4 टीम्स कौन सी थी लीडर बोर्ड पे?
सबसे ऊपर आपकी 8-बिट, उसके बाद टीम एक्सपार्क, आईक्यू सोल, फिलिप्स वन बिग।
और अब वो पॉइंट्स टेबल जो है ऐसा हो गया है, क्योंकि ये जो टॉप 4 टीमें थी वो बिल्कुल कहीं ना कहीं बॉटम पे चली गई हैं। सो दैट इज अ लिटिल सरप्राइजिंग फॉर एवरीवन। हमें इनसे परफॉर्मेंस क्यों नहीं दिख रही है?
अब मैं साइंस स्टूडेंट हूँ और मैं लॉजिक ढूंढता हूँ चीज़ के
शो ऑफ
पीछे।
मत कर।
मतलब शो ऑफ नहीं कर रहा, बट मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अभी तक इसका कोई लॉजिकल जस्टिफिकेशन नहीं आया है। मे बी शायद वो मोमेंटम की बात थी, बिकॉज लीग स्टेज के अंदर लोग स्टेप अप कर रहे हैं और उनके वो ज़्यादा सीरियस, बिकॉज वो ग्रैंड फाइनल का स्लॉट अब लोगों के जहन में है।
राइट, ऑलराइट ब्रो, यहाँ पे वेयर आई एम पॉइंटिंग, सोल बैठी हुई है। नकुल, आई विल जस्ट शो यू, ये भाई जो हैं देखो मुस्कुरा रहे हैं। सबसे ज़्यादा एलिमिनेशन इस सीजन में नकुल के नाम है, बट वेयर इज सोल? Where is Soul?
15th position, I believe.
And my soul is hurting right now. तो ये क्या हो रहा है इनके साथ?
लाइनअप के अंदर बदलाव है, बट हैरानगी ये है कि इसी लाइनअप के साथ ओपनिंग वीक भी खेला था तो परफॉर्मेंस थी और चीज़ें ख़राब है। मेरे ख्याल से कर लेंगे, लड़कों के अंदर वो पोटेंशियल है, भरोसा है इनके साथ।
देखिए इन्होंने जो बोला ना कि लाइनअप में बदलाव है, सम पीपल दे एम्ब्रेस द चेंज इन लाइनअप्स एंड सम पीपल दे स्ट्रगल। तो दो ऐसी टीमों को बुलाते हैं जिनसे सवाल जो है वो ज़रूर पूछने होंगे। जी के स्लग हमारे साथ एंड ओरांगुटान के विज गॉड, and the reason he's standing next to me is because मेरा hairstyle इनका hairstyle we take a lot of time. Alright Wiz, listen, jokes apart, Soul struggle कर रही है even though मान्या जो है उनके IGL वो इस lineup का हिस्सा नहीं है। You got a similar story, तुमने पूरी टीम जो है वो चेंज कर दी है। How are you still managing to get somewhere in the middle? तुम लोग क्या 10th 11th पोजीशन पे हो?
या 10th 11th पे मतलब थोड़ा हम लोग माइंडसेट मैच किया हम लोग ने बैठ के, बिकॉज हमारा पूरा कोर चेंज हो गया, प्ले स्टाइल पूरा चेंज हो गया। बस साथ में मिलके बैठते हैं, डिस्कस वगैरह करते हैं और अडेप्ट करते हैं एक दूसरे का मतलब गेम स्टाइल, क्योंकि थोड़ा वो लोग का बहुत ही डिफरेंट है। हम लोग अलग उतरते थे, ये लोग अलग उतरते हैं, बट अडेप्ट हो ही गया है ऑलमोस्ट।
अडेप्ट इज द कीवर्ड।
स्लग बदलाव तो आपके साथ भी हुआ है, मतलब जो लाइनअप आप रन करा रहे थे ऑफिशियल में वो नहीं है, आपके पुराने प्लेयर खिलाड़ी आपके साथ जुड़े हैं। आपकी टीम में क्या हाल फिलहाल चल रहा है?
अभी हाल फिलहाल तो ऐसा है कि पाजी बैकएंड में सपोर्ट भी दे रहे हैं एंड जो हमारे न्यू आईजीएल है आर्कलिन भाई वो भी बहुत अच्छा खिला रहे हैं, और जैसा बोलते बस कि ये टीम दिख गई, उनका कॉल आया मारना है, हम तीनों घुस जाते हैं।
क्या ये काफ़ी है ट्रॉफी के लिए?
ट्रॉफी के लिए अभी जैसे खेल रहे वो काफ़ी तो नहीं है, बट अभी मेहनत और करेंगे, फाइनल्स में और ज़्यादा एग्रेशन से खेलेंगे। जैसे आप लोग जानती हो जी का नाम ही एग्रेशन से है।
यूजुअली ये जो इंटरव्यूज होते हैं ना, यहाँ पे हम तुमसे तुम्हारी टीम की स्ट्रैटेजी के ऊपर एक सवाल पूछते हैं। आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू डू एनीथिंग ऑफ दैट सॉर्ट। तुम अब तक अपनी टीम की अगर परफॉर्मेंस देखो, कौन सी वो कमियां हैं, कौन सी वो वीकनेसेस हैं जिस पे काम करना बहुत ज़रूरी है इफ़ यू हैव टू क्लाइम अप फॉर दैट 10th 11th स्पॉट?
मतलब हमारा जो इन गेम इशू एक है, जो कॉम्स का इशू है, कम्युनिकेशन का जो इशू हो रहा है थोड़ा, बस हम लोग को वो सुधारना है। बाकी तो हम लोग कर लेंगे, मतलब एवरेज वो आ रही है परफॉर्मेंस, बट हम लोग ऑब्वियसली सेटिस्फाइड नहीं है और स्ट्राइव करेंगे और अच्छा परफॉर्म करेंगे।
स्लग आई नो आपका मैच है, मैं आपका टाइम ज़्यादा बर्बाद नहीं करूँगा। मुझे बता दो आउट ऑफ 1 to 10 अभी इस लाइनअप को, इस परफॉर्मेंस को कितने बार पे रखोगे?
अभी जो हमारा करंट परफॉर्मेंस है इस हिसाब से मैं 1 to 10 पे अपनी टीम को 6 पे रखना चाहूँगा, एंड अभी 10 के लिए पूरा हम ट्राई करेंगे फाइनल्स में परफॉर्म करके। ऑडियंस हम चाहते हैं ऑडियंस बोले कि हाँ ये 10 out of 10 ये टीम।
खूबसूरत।
Alright, Day 8 की शुरुआत होने वाली है। It's Day 5 of League Week 1 Survivor. Thank you so much, Vizgod. Thank you so much, Slug. लेकिन अभी के लिए back to the boys who are sitting in the studio.
Thank you so much, Seren. And yeah, some choice words being said, not just by Slug, even by Wizjot from the side of OG. And speaking about OG too, even they have been making those changes recently, right?
Yes, absolutely true. Ash and Trigger, they used to be like a well-knit lineup as well itself. But yeah, it's basically changed. Aru, Atanki, both of them have joined in as well. But it seems that they have still been struggling.
Yeah, indeed. Even Vizjot sometimes sits outside of the playing floor, right? So to let the fifth man to come in and try and experiment a little bit more in the overall board. And speaking of the overall board, it's right there on the screen. The top four is clear. These teams going to be having the bounty on top of their head. But then you move on towards the fifth spot, which is Team Forever. And they're still at the fifth, but not that far behind. They can be kicked out of that top 8 with ease. Moving on forward towards the latter half of the board, you've got Team OG right there next to it on the 11th spot with 49 points. And it's clearly visible too, just like how Vizjot said, we are getting the average performance. It's not the best of us.
Absolutely true. And you talk about that till WSB, who are possibly down till 16. They can basically get a good game and take a big leap. But again, another person that has taken a big leap is definitely Aquanox, man. I still can't wrap my head around what he did yesterday.
I mean, how can we forget that moment, especially when he was defending his team down. He knew he did not really have the man number, but then one single nade sails in, gets a 3-piece, and instantly just completely...
यार मैं तो बहुत सारे एजिल का खेला हूँ, शैडो, रॉबिन, वांटेड, ब्लेज, सेंसे एंड अभी सोमराज। यार सबके अलग अलग प्रो एंड कॉन्स है, एंड मैं तो बोलूँगा मेरा फेवरेट रॉबिन है, क्योंकि मैं उनके साथ गेम के बाहर भी बहुत अच्छे से वाइब कर सकता हूँ। मतलब मेरे बड़े भाई जैसे मानता हूँ मैं, जो भी प्रॉब्लम्स आती है मैं उनसे कंसर्न करता हूँ कि मेरे को ये प्रॉब्लम्स आ रही है, तो मेरे को हेल्प करते हैं। एंड शैडो के साथ मेरा ऐसा है कि मैं बहुत चिल है, मतलब मेरे छोटे भाई ऐसा मानता हूँ उसे। लाइक हम लोग कुछ भी बोलते हैं एक दूसरे के साथ, एंड कुछ टेंशन नहीं रहता उस टाइम पे। एंड वांटेड इतना नहीं खेले, इतना टाइम नहीं मिला हमें, बट जितना भी था हंसी मजाक तो किया हमने, एंड अच्छा है, पोटेंशियल है उसके अंदर। एंड ब्लेज तो मेरा भाई है, क्लोज है, बहुत जिगरी यार है। और है भाई वो आइजिल बनेगा 100% इनकमिंग टूर्नामेंट्स में। एंड सेंसे तो बताइए तुम लोगों को कैसा है, फुल हंसी मजाक जोकर है वो और अभी सोमराज कूल का है, लेट्स सी कैसा जाता है। अच्छा है, अच्छी जर्नी है, न्यू जर्नी है, होपफुली अच्छा हो।
Equinox saying some nice words about all his past teammates and the teams that he's played for, but currently he's playing under Entity Gaming, and I guess the players are doing some sort of ritual for the Android that is there in front of him right now. Of course, it is the God, because these guys are playing on Samsung Galaxy S24 device, and these guys are getting quite the smooth experience.
Absolutely true. I mean, they're helping him out whatsoever.
This is the
Probably
moment.
that's the reason why this trade landed up so perfectly, right? The God moment from yesterday, and this is one of the main reasons why they were also able to claim out that bounty coming in, and Aqua did not just stop in one, but also made sure that even Godlike was also on the same fate as Vasishta Esports.
Yeah, the Gods were bleeding yesterday, that's for sure. Entity Gaming in general, they're just doing really good so far. Being in the top 4 is not that easy, but Entity Gaming, one single day is all that took, and they made that major catapult directly there. But now, starting today's day, Entity Gaming is also going to be having the bounty on top of their head. And knowing Somraj, this man is quite known for his defensive playstyle too, so I don't think so Entity Gaming will be struggling too much. But here's the best part. Today we're going to start things off with Sanhok. Group A, C, D, and E will be the one to kick things off. That means teams like One Blade, WSB, Reckoning, and Godlike won't have a chance to play in Sanhok.
Yes, that is indeed true. I mean, a map which is a bit too aggressive as well for most of these teams. I think so this is very good ground for both 8-bit as well as Team Z to try and take a big leap in the leaderboard itself. Team Z, they've also showcased some signs of life. Even 8-bit, I would want to say yesterday there were some possibilities for this team as well to take a humongous leap. But unfortunately, that was not the case. Maybe they can try this on today, and map of Sanhok is probably what they would need.
Hey, do you want me to drop a bombshell over here?
Obviously.
Global Esports and IQ Soul, they're playing this upcoming game of Sanhok, and both these teams, they like to drop in the same drop location. So the upcoming game of Sanhok will definitely be spicy. Before now, let's move on to a short break.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Another day, another road, and we go. A ride with a win, moving up, we know where to begin. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. On a ride we go. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Another day, another road, and we go.
What's the worst that could happen? What's the best that could happen? Philips One Blade. Move fearlessly. Innovation and you. Philips. Red Bull gives you wings.
Wow. Circle to search. Only on Android.
Time to test the waters. Tell me how you wanna leave. Now you hear me roll like raw in my beastly mode now. Wow. Wicked unleashed. That's wicked. All the cuts and the curves. So wicked. Take what you deserve. It's wicked.
TVS Raider, unleash your wicked.
Everywhere I go, dirt and pollution dull my skin.
Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. 2x brightening power. With charcoal and vitamin C, deeply cleanses dirt and pollution to fight dullness for instantly bright skin. Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. Try the #1 men's face wash in India. By Garnier Men.
What's up, everyone? Come on in.
I got 100 ways that I could make you look. You cannot read me, I ain't no page in a book. But there's 100 ways that I could make you look.
Wow.
Make you look. Make you look.
Wow.
Look, make you look.
TVS Raider is our mobility partner once again for this Season 3. It's not just all about looks, there's a Smart Connect version with 99 connected feature. And guess what? It apparently comes with a 5-inch TFT screen. Isn't that super wicked?
It absolutely is. And honestly, I would still say the Iron Man edition is much better than the Black Panther edition. But it's obviously my personal opinion because you like the Black Panther more. But honestly, there's one more team that basically resembles the Black Panther edition, and that has not been doing really well right now in the leaderboard. That's going to be Raven Esports. I really want to see this team step up. I want to see this team change gears and honestly climb those rankings because this team definitely deserves those top 3 spots.
I mean, we're starting things off on the map of Sanhok, and I'm not sure how well Raven Esports can play the map of Sanhok. This hasn't been really their stronger suit, but you talk about the strong suit. I mean, Manya is once again back in the side of Aiku's soul, so that's where things are going to be even more spicy. And yeah, for the side of 8-Bit, just a jersey hanging on the chair. I'm not sure what 8-Bit is doing here, but yeah. Aditya is treating the chair as like a human.
He's a human.
Oh, so the chair's going to be gaming, I guess?
Absolutely.
The chair's going to be the 4th player. 8-Bit, they've got the chair buff. This is not the first time 8-Bit's going to be playing with a 3-man squad. They've played it once in the past, and they have actually done quite decent.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to talk about as well. And guess what? It was also against Team Soul that they were able to wipe them out. It was a 2v4 as well in that situation. Still remember on the grounds of Erangel is where that battle took place. And that was actually pretty precarious for their side, but even after that, they were able to come out on top. So I still have hopes from this team. I know that they can play aggressive. We all have seen that in the opening week as well. But another team that also performed excellently the first 2 days was Vashishta Esports. After that, they have been consistent, but their performance has taken a bit dip.
And just to let you know, 8-Bit, Carnival, Raven, and Team Z, they're just going to be playing one game today, including Group B as well, because Group B, yes, they're sitting it out for the first game, but in the second game, they will be back. Before Group A, they've got a lot to prove, especially for teams like Team Z. This map of Sanhok can be a big glimmer of hope, and even for the fans. As the plane flap pat's now going to be on the screen, starting all the way from Camp Alpha towards Camp Pong. I really want to see, are we going to see any type of drop collisions?
Wait a second. Neither Soul nor GE has decided to take the drop at Camp Alpha. This is new. This is spicy because both of them are going elsewhere. I want to see maybe if it's boot camp or if it's Paradise Resort. I guess so it is boot camp because Mogo is going towards the Paradise. That's where they always go. This is going to get so messy. Oh my god, the thinking works exactly the same for both of these teams.
Vashishta Esports, they're here to claim the bounty. They've got a bounty on top of their head. Vashishta, they need to play it quite defensive. Secret's taken down for now, but even Wixki hits the deck. Team Forever from the back as well, now starting to hit back. But even Team Forever, they've taken a lot of damage upon themselves. Vashishta Esports, this man is quite pinned in that corner. And Shadow is trying his best to try and defend his teammates. But Vashishta Esports, they somehow flip the tables and they shut down Team Forever.
Beautiful play coming in from Vashishta, losing a member, Vixky down on his knees. In a 2v3 situation, they were able to wipe out the floor with the members of Team Forever. But this was just a battle. The war is yet to begin. You also have Aiku's Soul right now in the vicinity. There's also Global Esports in this exact area. This is going to get so very messy as Ronnie still has got the weaponry in his hand. The support of Some is also there. We know the firepower both of these players carry, but they need to gatekeep the team that's in front of them.
Wait, hold on. Manya's not playing in the playing four just yet. So I guess Manya today, once again, just not in the mood to play in the playing four. Aiku's Soul back with Samai. And for Aiku's Soul, as you mentioned, just out of nowhere coming up with this drop location. I'm not sure how well it's going to work out, but Samai, he finds a two-piece. And with that, Raven Esports on the verge of getting completely dismantled. Both those players instantly confirmed. Raven now down to Hanzo and Hulk. And it's not looking too good. Aiku's Soul with the advantage.
And it's Aim God as well as Reaper, both of the players who basically were the top two fraggers for Raven. They've been taken down. It's a big problem right now.
Oh, not a big fan of this move.
No helmet, no
I told
vest. It's super messy out there, but Maxi is out here for the support as well.
Oh
Aiku's
my
Soul.
god. Aiku's Soul getting hunted from the back lines. Team Timilas with the third party. Even for Aiku's Soul now, situation's getting way too dandy. How can they get out of this one? In the front, it's going to be the players of Raven. From the back, it's the players of Team Timilas. Aiku's Soul right in the center, getting sandwiched. All Aiku's Soul can do is make sure that the sandwich is going to be tasty. And a little bit tough for the players of Team Timilas to bite on. And Team Timilas just here to grab these free points. The utilities are being tossed to perfection as Ronnie gets claimed. But then even Raven Esports, they're here to claim a free scrap points here and there.
Hulk is the only one remaining right now for Raven. He wants to try and stay alive for as long as possible. They've also got Hanzo. And there we go, Hulk down on his knees. It's Hanzo still right now on his feet, wants to survive. Fox will eventually be able to claim Hulk. Absolutely will. It was Manti who did that, but
yeah, I'm
one
not
good
sure.
thing, Raven's bounty has not been claimed by Soul.
I'm not sure what Aiku's Soul was trying to do here. Just 4 points and already outside of the game. First game lost. Aiku's Soul, they need to remember one thing. You do not have a lot of chances per day. Only 2 games, of which one is already extinguished.
True. And
now you look forward towards boot camp. And both these teams, meanwhile, just eyeing each other out. Nothing really serious going on here. Assista Esports, for them, now they know the bounty's not claimable anymore. So even if Global Esports, they do make that pounce, it's really not going to matter. It's just 3 players of Assista Esports. They will get those few bounty points here and there, but nothing more than that.
True. The power play points is, again, very crucial for you as well, because we've seen that the reason why Carpedium are right now in the top 4 is because of the fact that they've got humongous number of power play points. They only have 7 placement points at this situation. And if I'm not wrong, they only had, what, not even a single bounty claimed.
Yep.
All the points are because of the power play. So that's how crucial it becomes.
And the crazy part is, you've got all the 4 teams playing in one single game that have the bounty on top of their head. And Raven Esports could have been claimed by Aiku's Soul, but unfortunately a third party came in from Team Timilas. And now because of that, that bounty has been nullified too. 2 bounties not claimable anymore. Assista Esports and Raven, but you've still got 2 more, Carpedium and Entity.
You want to know a fun fact? Carpedium are just down southeast of boot camp, so they can hear all the commotion that's basically happening, because even Mogo, they wanted to join in a bit of the action. They already have though. I can see Delta in the finish speed too. We might possibly see some of the action as to what's happening over towards the eastern parts of boot camp, because it seems as of now, GE, even though they really want to hunt the members of Assista, they're also taking it slow, smart, cool, calm and collected.
Yeah, Global Esports known for their aggression. Assista Esports pinned in one side of the map, or one side of the boot camp if you'd like to say. Slowly and steadily, Global Esports making sure that they're going to be closing their grips around the necks of Assista Esports. And I like this off angle Ninja Boys came up with. Drops down, tries to create a bit more angle upon the foes as Shadow hits the deck. And now it's going to be a 2-on-4. Global Esports with the advantage. 2 points already claimed. You move on forward towards the side of Assista Esports. Things are starting to look way too dicey. Assista, they need to at least get away with 2 more points or 2 more finishes That way they can get suitable amount of points to sustain that spot in the overall standings. But Apollo, he makes sure that one player's gonna fall down, but that's all he finds. Global Esports, that's a flawless squad wipe.
Beautiful performance coming in from Global Esports, and Vasista, another day, another slow beginning for their side, and this time around they were only able to claim those 6 points, so no position whatsoever. But Global Esports on the other side, they managed to finish 4 players, so G are going to be happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's 8 points, but I don't think so they have claimed the bounty.
No, they haven't. It was Team Forever who basically got one, but hold on a second.
Team Z getting pounced on by the foes right now. And that too, it's just one single man of Reaper, of Raven. And even he gets shut down. So yeah, for Raven Esports, as I mentioned, that was a bounty that was unclaimable. And as Raven Esports as well, they hit the deck. That's it. Power play ends in a few seconds. And for Team Z, as usual, they're starting things off in a passive note.
Indeed. And that's the power play now ended. So Team Z, they finally claim at least one pick and one frag in the power play. But on the other side of the spectrum, oh my goodness!
God. What am I watching? It's Carpedium, of course, pulling off these type of shenanigans. And Pukar, how is this man even alive? That spray was indeed quite nasty. Big Daddy Pukar trying to get away from that spot, but his buggy's tires busted. He cannot move away for too long, and yes, he should have ejected way before. But he still kept going. I'm not sure what was going through his head. Carpedium, they do possess a bounty on top of them, and it can be claimable by that same team that he's looking for to wipe him out. And that too, it's Team X-Spark. This can be a major leap that Team X-Spark is looking for to take in the overall standings.
Pukar is also knocked down as well, so even that pick is claimable. But the question is, do they really want to go for it? It seems like yes. They want to try and chase down Fierce, who's basically going all over towards the docks as well. I think so it's going to just try to blow himself up, make sure that he denies the bounty points.
I guess that's what he's trying to do as well. Fierce is all the way in the back lines, or maybe he can try to play it a little bit more safer and try and claim some placement points here and there. Make sure that Carpedium still stays in that top 4. They still do possess that podium finish after the end of this game. But yeah, for Carpedium, one thing is for sure. It was quite a nice block being set up from the side of Team X-Spark, and Carpedium never saw that coming. For Team X-Spark, exactly what they wanted.
Beautiful performance coming in from the side of Team X-Spark, but it seems like they're still searching for Fierce.
Yeah. And speaking of the search, you can't just circle the search on your Android devices. And we did see a circle too a while ago. The circle's going to be quite centric, quite standard. Nothing really out of the ordinary.
Yep.
Controls the majority part of the Sanhok. But still the main eyes are going to be locked on teams like Entity Gaming, Revenant, especially Revenant, man. Revenant, they really do need to perform. But unfortunately, Revenant started things off with just a 3-man squad. They've already lost out on 1 player.
Understandable, but I still want to see how X-Spark are going to try and go in for the hunt on Fierce. He's still surviving, and they need just 1 man to claim that bounty. So Team X-Spark are basically moving fearlessly at this point.
Just like the Philips One Blade. With no nicks and no cuts. Looking at the game, Raven Esports, after losing out on safe, they're not going to be feeling so safe. Feeling quite vulnerable. The Revenants, for the first time, they might start to feel that fear of being hunted down by some of the big dogs. Even CG, after yesterday's day, they're looking quite decent in the overall standings, but still looking forward to convert a bit more in their favor.
My eyes are actually going to be locked onto the members of Team Tamilas too. Mogo are around them. They're trying to create a trap, and Team Tamilas are just down to 2 of their members. But look at the amount of points they've already claimed till now. That's 10. I believe they've basically found 5 picks in the power play.
And I told you, man, Entity, they do have the bounty on top of their head, but Entity do exactly know how to play defense. That's how Somraj has been playing for time and time in the past. And once again, the man's just now going back to basics, right?
Yes.
He does not care about the bounty. He does not care about the target that's there on his back. Neither does he care about the power play system. Instead, he's playing it the old classic way. He's playing it the strategical, the methodical way. But looking at the zone, it's going to shift towards ruins down south. All the teams on the top right side on the main island, now they need to start traversing towards the ruin side and even maybe try and take control of Painan a bit.
Carnival's going to be pretty happy with this circle, because these are the lands that they've traversed a lot. Know it by the back of their hand.
Okay, really nice spray from AK. You really got to give it to this man. That was a laser beam right there. AKOP instantly backs away, patches himself up once again. For Team OG, they have been playing the same way, right? Defensive as usual. They're not going too aggressive. They do not want to claim the bounty points either. Instead, just trying to play it as safe as possible. Mogo taking some shots from the opposite side. It's Team Tumulus this time, whose doors are being knocked upon, and Max is taking too much damage upon himself. It's the Molotov and the bullets breaching at the same time. And Maxi, he's got no answer to that. A nade in the closet room, and that's going to seal the deal.
Good 4-pick coming in for Mogo as well. The patience paid off perfectly. They were able to claim the lives of the members of Team Tamilas and put an end to their wrath. Getting the crucial 6 points as well out of the 4 finishes that they have. You know that this team always likes to perform, right? If I'm not wrong, 2 of those 4 finishes were in the power play. That's why they basically landed in on 6 points after those 4 finishes. So some crucial points coming in. But there's also God's Reign just down south of Mogo. They've got to be worried about that, and I'm not really liking the cluster that's basically forming in a bit to north of the circle, because Global Esports will also try to breach in from that far.
I mean, just look at the replay and look at this spray from Delta. Quite a phenomenal trace. But then there's also a fight going on in the live feed itself. Mogo Esports, yeah, they did decimate a team a while ago, but now feels like they're getting decimated themselves by God's Reign. And just like that, within a flash, the entirety of Mogo Esports, they just come crashing down. Karma. That's all you can say. There was a replay going on, and while the replay was going on, Mogo Esports themselves was getting destroyed.
Well, well, well. Mogo getting 6 points, but then getting an early elimination. Seems like Destro, yes, he wants to change a few things, but God's Reign were a team that they weren't prepared for.
I can already see the fans saying, yeah, bring back Robin.
That's probably the reason why I said the statement. But
it's just a joke. It's just a joke, guys. Do not take it serious.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
What do you mean legal reasons?
that's a meme that always goes around. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Yeah, please, man. You're...
My humor is broken, bro. My humor is cracked.
It's not even humor at this point. It's just you saying random stuff, or just you looking at random memes online and then you considering that's actually a meme.
Because
it's not a meme.
All right. But again, I love the fact how God's Reign finally, they left the bounty hunting department and decided to actually hunt for different teams. And they found success in that. Seems like bounty is some kind of curse for them, which they can't really claim.
Hey, but look at CG though. Stars align, maybe. The zone once again shifts right on top of them. At CG, they're looking forward to be the Guardian Angels against the players of Entity. This is where CG will have a chance to claim the bounty, because Entity is at the exact spot where CG is holding. And there we go. Somraj gets knocked out. For CG, this is exactly what they wanted. Once they get the confirmation onto Somraj, they know they're facing off against Entity. That means CG will be even more thirsty for the points.
And they've got the confirmation right while you were mentioning it all.
Now they know it's Entity, and that's why you can see the players of Entity instantly backing away.
Yep.
Because they know the players of CG, they would want to definitely move ahead and claim this bounty. But Entity, they have no interest in handing it over.
But where are they going to go as well? Because if they move forward a bit more east from that, there's also God's Reign who are ready to answer and ready to bounce onto them. But wait a second, seems like God's Reign did not realize that there's Entity on the other side. Troy already been taken down, so it's going to be a bad positioning for them.
Yeah, it's fine though. The players are already pretty safe, right? Fury's just going to back away to safety, but I'm not sure how safe that's going to look. The man's in the open. How did the players of Godstream not think about this? The smoke did not even bloom, and the knocked out player instantly started to move back to safety.
Oh my
From
god.
the open. And that's where the real problems started to hit the deck. But even Goblin now falls down. For Godstream, they need to come up with a different route inside of the zone, and that's what they do. They move a little bit from the right side. As Raiden's knocked out, the confirmation's instantly going to flow up. But do Godstream know that Entity's taken down with just a two-man squad?
They should have the idea from the finish feed itself, but Alto was able to take down Aquanox, who was basically swimming in the water. It's all down to Troy.
Yeah, this man can single-handedly clutch it out too. So for the side of Godstream, they're still dealing with fire. Troy gets shut down, but he still deals a decent bit of damage, but it's completely fine for Godstream. Just look at how many finishes they've claimed.
To be brutally honest, it's 7 right now. They also need a few more position points. But talking about position points, right? Carnival Gaming, they pushed their luck a bit too further out there, and Neo has been taken down now. Global Esports should be able to confirm that finish as well, unless Carnival can cook up something, because they're taking fights on 2 different fronts. It's Godstream on one side, Global Esports on the other side, and you really want to focus your attention on just one of them.
But in my opinion, they can just ignore Godstream there.
You know what?
Yeah, Neo's taken down for now, but then there's also Team X-Spark taking shots against the players of OG. There's too many fights going on, but if you look at Global Esports and the way they're playing too, even Global Esports can go for this third party. Now, looking at Global Esports, they're playing with a 2-2 split. They're trying to take a fight against Team X-Spark and OG. At the same time, they're pressuring the players of CG. Now, Global Esports, they're trying to chew a little bit too much here.
But I still like the way that they're playing around this one as well, because they control the entirety of the western part.
Oh my god, 10 finishes already, Global Esports. Once again, the Animals, they're back in the field. And this is exactly what you like to see, right? Slug mentioned this, Global Esports, they're the flag. They're the burning torch of aggression. And once again, we're going to bring that back in the game, and that's what happens. 10 finishes on the board, Global Esports. A 2-man squad is more than enough to shut down a full squad in front of you.
Love the way how they are playing, but also in the meantime, you can also look at 8-Bit, right almost at the edge of the southwestern part. They're going to make sure that they will gatekeep Global Esports members that are actually coming towards their way, and also Revenant. Team X-Spark, I don't think so they have any opportunity unless there's a humongous amount of chaos happening in front of them. 8-Bit in a perfect position right now to get a few extra finishes, few extra flushes. Unless, of course, they kind of missed the members of Global, but no, they've finally seen it.
8-Bit with just a 3-man squad, still managing to avoid all the chaos, and they're there in the top 8. So I guess maybe you can't say for 8-Bit keep on playing the same way. They can also snatch the game away from Global Esports. All it takes is one single mishap, and Global Esports can instantly lose out on this split. There's 8-Bit in the front lines towards the compound, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of damage is being dished out from Juicy, and 8-Bit, they do get the exact position. They do get the exact number of Global Esports. But does Global Esports have any intention of challenging this fight?
That's going to be extremely difficult. The small ridge is actually helping them out to make that cross as well over towards the circle. They want to rendezvous with the leftover teammates that they have right now, but they will basically be pincered. But wait a second. 8-Bit now getting caught as well as Beast becomes a madman.
Oh no, Aditya gets knocked out too. Even Team X-Spark from the back lines, they aren't just done yet. They're still alive from the outside of the zone. And looking at Global Esports, I mean, they're in full force. Striking down the lobby slowly and steadily. It's all down to just that one last man of 8-Bit, which is Mighty. And he's not looking so mighty after all. The next zone shifts right on top of the players of Team Z. The passive approach is working out. But can it work out for the side of Carnival Gaming?
Seems a bit more difficult as well because they've got Godstrain behind them. Goblin now being struck down as well. Needs to go into the healing, but brings out a shotgun. Hector is also there to provide in some support as well. And in the form of Flog, you see some third party coming in.
Exactly what I was talking about. All it takes is one little moment, one little mishap, and the entire playstyle of Global Esports can come crumbling down. And the players overstepped against the players of CG. But now from the backlines, it's going to be Godstream. Look at him, just claiming the points. In the front, there's one last man of CG, and just like that, Altu, he takes them all down single-handedly.
Massive performance coming in from this man, but again, Team Z seem to be in the prime position as well. But you look at the members of Revenant, they also want to try and contest for it. They want to go in for it. Global Esports as well. You have got the players standing, but only 2 of them, and they are super low in that HP.
Oh, Global Esports, Ninja Boy. The man's trying to bob and weave. Trying to be the sneaky assassin, trying to be the ninja himself. But it seems really tough. The man just does not have any sort of first aids. He's now trying to patch himself up with just the bandages that are left over. And he's also going for the revival on the fallen player. He does have a little bit of an itch on the back of his head that there might just be someone on that hilltop in the blue. And that's why he's checking the back lines over and over again. But there's a high chance a backstab might just be coming through in a few seconds.
Slug with his positioning, it's going to be important for the side of Global Esports, right? Because if Revenant and Team Z start to fight, then it's going to be a chance, but no, maybe not. It's Global Esports who's basically pincered in two different directions. Arsenal has been claimed as well, and it's Scout who's also trying to scout out the members. Ninja Boy's confirmation is also there.
Yeah, I mean, the players are out in the open, right? You can't really expect a lot from them, but Global Esports, they went away with a lot of points. 15 finish points claimed, and then add on the placement points at the top. Global Esports, that was indeed a really good performance, and that might just bring the players of Global Esports back in the top 5. But looking at this final 2 scenario, you've got Raven Esports off against the players of Team Z. And Team Z, this is where they need to start to get a little bit more proactive.
Seems like they should be able to get this chicken without any major difficulties as well. It's Sensei and Flock remaining, but wait a second, this one nade.
You never know.
A long one.
Team Z, they're quite hesitant once again, not confident in their prowl, in their approach. And that's why they're not being proactive in this scenario. I mean, Team Z, they're taking a lot of damage upon themselves, especially Kylo. In the outskirts, the man was chipped out a bit too much. Team Z, they have been grinding, that's for sure. And that's why the patience are now starting to pay off in this map of Sanhok. Scout OP providing that cover 5 from the back lines. And Sensei 2 from the far fray. Kylo gets knocked out. A beautiful nade from Addy's gonna catch Flock too. The man finds the opener, but this nade from Sensei, it might just be the table turner. Sensei all by himself behind that one single rock, now getting approached by Sayed 2, and Sensei pulls out the shotgun. He's got too many players, and he gets outnumbered, overwhelmed by Team Z. And finally, Team Z, they find some sort of stability in this entire BGMS Season 3.
Redemption coming in for the team. Some hopes being sent in the hearts of their fans. Team Z finally stepping things up. And it seems like fate definitely was upon them, because the circle, specifically those crucial ones, kept on forming upon them, and they had a perfect compound to hold for it.
A team that was looking completely unstable, not just from the opening week, even from the start of the league stage, but now feels like finally Team Z, that found themselves that stability that was missing. This chicken dinner, it's going to be igniting the hopes back in the hearts of the fans and also the players themselves. Let's move on to the stage for a short interview with the players.
Team Z finally picking up their chicken dinner. Scout, ये जो हमने अब तक देखा है सीजन 3, उसमें जो भी बदलाव आए हैं, पावर प्ले, साथ में बाउंटी, ऐसा लगा है कि आप लोग वो जो अडेप्टिंग की हम बात कर रहे हैं ना, वो तक अभी दिखी नहीं है, बट हैज समथिंग चेंज्ड?
नहीं यार, कुछ दिक्कत नहीं है वैसे। हम लोग बहुत मेजर चोक्स कर रहे थे एज अ टीम। ऐसा कुछ अलग गेम नहीं चल रहा है कि अडेप्ट नहीं कर पा रहे। पावर प्ले में हमने 2-3 बार ट्राई किया था, बट हमारे एंड से ही बहुत ज़्यादा मैसअप हुआ था, तो पावर प्ले का इम्पैक्ट हम यूज़ नहीं कर पाए, क्योंकि सबको पता है यार 4 किल के 8 किल मिलने वाले हैं, 8 के 16 मिलने वाले हैं, बाउंड्री टीम से बहुत कुछ है। बट हम लोग एज ए टीम बोलते हैं एट द एंड ऑफ द डे गेम में आपको फाइट विन करनी पड़ती है। फाइट हम लूज़ कर रहे थे, इसलिए हम हार रहे थे, बट ठीक है, एक थोड़ा सा छोटा स्टार्ट मिला है, बट हम इस मोमेंटम को कैरी ऑन करेंगे और पावर प्ले का ज़्यादा यूज़ करते हुए देखेंगे आगे।
स्काउट, कुछ दिन पहले हमारी एक बातचीत हुई थी, एक इंटरव्यू किया था, एंड ये जो ऑडियंस का भरोसा होता है ना, इट्स अ 2-वे स्ट्रीट। एक तरफ से ऑडियंस आती है, दूसरी तरफ से आपको उनकी तरफ जाना है, जो अभी तक हो नहीं रहा था, बट यू थिंक यू रीपेइंग द फेथ जो ऑडियंस ने दिखाया आप पे?
100% हम लोग अभी तक अपने ऑडियंस को बहुत डिसअपॉइंट कर रहे थे, क्योंकि उन्हीं लोग ने हमें यहाँ तक ला के दिया है। टू बी ऑनेस्ट, बहुत सारी टीम्स इधर क्वालिफाई होकर है जो डिजर्विंग है, बट हम लोगों को हमको और एको टीम को थ्रू फैंस हमें आना है इधर, हम आए हैं इधर। सो आई थिंक हम उनके लिए खेल रहे हैं। टू बी ऑनेस्ट, हम खुद से ज़्यादा उनको प्रूव करने के लिए खेल रहे हैं आज के डेट पे।
स्काउट, शायद लैंड में सबसे एक्सपीरियंस खिलाड़ी आप हैं, बट आपकी जो टीम है रिलेटिवली थोड़ा सा इनएक्सपीरियंस है। सो एज द मेन गाय, एज द लीड गाय, एज द एल्डर ब्रदर, आप अपने बाकी टीम मेंबर्स को कैसे मोटिवेट कर रहे हैं?
क्या मोटिवेट किया, अभी गेम खराब जाते हैं तो रेज होता है, गुस्सा होता है, बट वही है, होटल जाके हम PS5 लगा रखा है, चिल करते खेलते वापस सुबह आते हैं, वापस वही माहौल बनता है। देखो आज गेम अच्छा स्टार्ट किया तो खुशी खुशी जाएंगे, गुस्सा नहीं होगा कोई किसी पे। तो एक स्पोर्ट का जो सेम फॉर्मेट रहता है, अच्छे जाओ तो खुश रहो, खराब गया तो गुस्सा करो, बस वही है।
Well, what's to live by? The elder brother figure scout Team Z के लिए chicken dinner here on that first map on Sanhok. लेकिन अभी एक छोटा सा break वापस लौटेंगे यहाँ from the arena.
जीत की जिद हो तो घाव मायने नहीं रखते.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Another day, another road, and we go. Arrive with a win, moving up, we know where to begin. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Arrive we go. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Another day, another road, and we go.
What's the worst that could happen? What's the best that could happen? Philips One Blade. Move fearlessly. Innovation and you. Philips. Red Bull gives you wings.
Wow. Circle to search. Only on Android.
Time to test the waters. Tell me how you wanna leave. Now you hear me roll like raw in my beastly mode. Now, wow. Wicked unleashed. That's wicked. All the cuts and the curves. So wicked. Take what you deserve. It's wicked.
TVS Raider. Unleash your wicked.
Everywhere I go, dirt and pollution dull my skin.
Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. 2x brightening power. With charcoal and vitamin C, deeply cleanses dirt and pollution to fight dullness for instantly bright skin. Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. Try the #1 men's face wash in India. By Garnier Men.
What's up, everyone? Come on in.
I got 100 ways that I could make you look. You cannot read me, I ain't no page in a book. But there's 100 ways that I could make you look.
Wow.
Make you look.
Wow.
Look, make you look.
Team Z, finally they get that well-deserved chicken dinner. They were so desperate and they were fighting for this one single game, and now they've got that underneath their belt. And as Scout mentioned, he's not fighting for himself or his teammates. Instead, he's fighting for the audience that made sure that his team is going to be moving on forward towards the league stage of this tournament. But another great thing that I would like to let you guys know, that Crunchyroll is India's largest anime library with over 800 plus anime shows. And not just that, you can watch those shows in your preferred language. Watch now for only 79 rupees per person.
Absolutely, and that per month. So amazing offers that you can apparently avail. But honestly, another amazing thing about the previous game was definitely the presence of Altu from God's Reign. 5 finishes, 50% contribution, basically meaning God's Reign were able to grab 10 finishes in total.
Exactly. The stars of the match, Altu is going to be there for going all out in the side of God's Reign with 7 knockouts and 5 finishes. Then you've also got Hector being the best companion from CG, and you've got Side OP from Team Z. For Team Z, they were playing it quite safe and sound throughout the entire game, right? And then finally being able to get that chicken dinner, as I mentioned. This is the momentum the players were searching for. Now they finally found it. It really matters how they carry on this torch in the future.
I really want to see them build upon this momentum, right? And that's exactly what Scout also mentioned, that they were looking for this buffer, they were looking for this start. Now that they have it, they'll also be pretty much active in the power play itself, because yes, they were messing up a lot of team fights as well. We saw that yesterday, it all happened, but this time they played it around perfectly. Even though there were some mishaps left and right, but at least they were able to claim the last few lives.
But keep this thing in mind, it was also a really good game for the side of God's Reign and also Global Esports. These two teams, they played phenomenally well. Even God's Reign, they were going all out inside of the lobby. They were taking so many fights. And Global Esports, they had so many finishes underneath their belt.
Absolutely. To be honest, I really feel that the way that these teams were playing, it was absolutely amazing, because they wanted to grab those finishes, as much finishes as possible, because we've been talking about this. The more finishes you get, the better it becomes for you. And here's a small fun fact. You know, you remember that Fierce ran out? He ran away, tried to survive and not give that bounty.
Yeah.
Team Xbox still managed to find him.
Okay.
And Fierce was as well taken down. So that basically means that Team X-Park got the bounty that they were hunting for.
Oh, that's really crazy, because if Team X-Park, they did claim that bounty, that means imagine the big lead they're going to take in the overall standings, right? Team X-Park, they were there somewhere in the bottom of the board, but this one single bounty can once again restore the health and the life back in their entire roster. And looking at the way the entire map started off, I mean, off the rip, it was iQuiSoul taking fire against the players of Raven Esports, where iQuiSoul were almost about to come out on top. But then Team Timorleste, they went in for the third party. But then Mogo Esports came in and they wiped out Team Timorleste themselves.
Absolutely. I mean, let's be brutally honest. The first couple of circles in boot camp, it basically felt like what we normally see in the Sanhok rank game. Every single team just dropping out in Sanhok and around the boot camp area, finishing off every single person. But I really love the fact how even God's Reign, they made sure to stay a bit more down to south of the Paradise Resort, waiting for Mogo to be there only to wipe them out, and then also rotated all the way towards the other island as well, making sure that they were trying to pinch Entity too.
Exactly. Then in the final few moments, it was just Team Z looking forward to grab the chicken dinner, because they knew somewhere down the line their patience are definitely going to pay off. They were playing it so safe and sound. They were just playing in that one single compound. All the players were pinned down, and as soon as they found a chance to strike on the players of Raven Esports, because they knew that Raven Esports did not really have a really good spot inside of the zone, and Raven Esports, they were quite exposed. Yes, they did have the high ground to play with, but zone was something that was not with them with a good cover.
Absolutely, but there's one good thing that you can actually do, and that too very fast, right? In these situations, if you've got the Android devices, you can use the tap and pay feature, and it's so fast, so simple, so very quick that you can eventually pay for as many goods as you really want to, of course, as much as your bank account allows. But honestly, I really love the fact how Global Esports were playing so very aggressive, right? Because only, even though they've got 5 placement points, look at their finish points.
Yeah, that's what I exactly mentioned, right? Global Esports, even God's Reign, they had a phenomenal game. Then you look at Team X-Park, they did not have that good of a game, but still, just because of that bounty, they managed to claim 17 points. So, Team X-Park, just that one single squad wipe gave them so many points that now even they've got the momentum in their hands. Moving in forward, Team Z was the one to claim the chicken dinner, but then the latter half of the board, once again looking the same. Raven Esports and Carpedium, the newer faces on the latter half of the board, but then other than that, you see the same teams over there.
Absolutely true. You mentioned about that as well, right? Raven, Carpedium, these are the most consistent teams right now, and it seems like finally the Caster's Curse has struck them. these two teams not being able to perform, but it's absolutely fine. It was just only one game, but that's the whole part about it, right? Raven were only playing the map of Sanhok this time around.
Yeah, and this is what the crazy part that I mentioned about in the past, right? Knowing the fact that Group A, that was their last game today. Team Z, they just had one single chance to prove themselves. In that one single game, they did prove themselves. They got the chicken dinner. Now Group A is going to be sitting it out. That means 8-Bit, Team Z, Carnival, even Raven, they're not going to be playing it. Instead, Group B is now going to be back in action. One Blade, WSB, Reckoning, and Godlike will be there.
Absolutely. I really want to look forward to how Godlike are going to perform and how fearlessly that they're going to move it, because that's how fearlessly you can also move with Philips One Blade. But I know we all are very excited. We'll have a look at the action after this short break.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Wow. Circle to search. Only on Android.
Another day, another road, and we go. Arrive with a win, moving up, we know where to begin. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Arrive we go. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Another day, another road, and we go.
What's the worst that could happen? What's the best that could happen? Philips One Blade. Move fearlessly. Innovation and you. Philips. Red Bull gives you wings.
Time to test the waters. Tell me how you wanna leave. Now you hear me roll like raw in my beastly mode. Now, wow. Wicked unleashed. That's wicked. All the cuts and the curves. So wicked. Take what you deserve. It's wicked.
TVS Raider. Unleash your wicked.
Everywhere I go, dirt and pollution dull my skin.
Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. 2x brightening power. With charcoal and vitamin C, deeply cleanses dirt and pollution to fight dullness for instantly bright skin. Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash. Try the #1 men's face wash in India. By Garnier Men.
What's up, everyone? Come on in.
I got 100 ways that I could make you look. You cannot read me, I ain't no page in a book. But there's 100 ways that I could make you look.
Wow.
Make you make you look.
Wow.
Look, make you look.
To live your life the way you want. Compete like the toughest challenger. Dance like there's no tomorrow. celebrate every second you are alive. Life has no rule books, but we can give you a stage.
Welcome back once again after that short break. But before we move on to the game, it's time to refresh, recharge, and revive. Get your game face on with the range of Garnier Men Face Wash, the #1 men's face wash in India for all your skincare needs.
And there's also the Android Play games are live. You cannot miss that offer whatsoever. As long as BGMS is going in, you will also make sure to get all of those play valuables. But here's one fun thing, Necro, that we've been talking about. Last game, we could also change the name of that entire game to the game of comebacks, right? Because
Yeah.
Team Z was able to take a perfect chicken for themselves, making a big leap into that leaderboard, plus also Team X Spark getting those crucial 17 points to try and slowly move forward up the ladder.
And talking about Team X Spark, we mentioned about this too, right? Now they finally have found the spark they needed. And once again, they can start to make that leap as well. Looking at this entire group and looking at the upcoming game, Godlike, they're back in the competition. They're going to be the one to duke it out against the foes once again, because yesterday's day wasn't too good for Godlike. They got hunted down, they got striked down, no matter what sort of fights they try to take. But this has been the main concern for Godlike too. No matter what they try to do, the consistency always fades away from their hand.
I really want to see them stepping up this time around, and also I want to see WSB as well, because we've been seeing them constantly take the contact against the members of Carpedium in Pochinki. And if I'm not wrong, this time around, I believe Carpedium still are carrying that bounty, if in case they've not been thrown away. So that's going to be super crucial as well.
I mean, talk about stepping up. How can you forget what the players of One Blade need to do, man? One Blade, they have been struggling for such a long time, still there on the latter half of the board, because they're starting things off with a really good note for this entire Season 3. In the opening week, One Blade, they were hitting back hard. They were there in the top 4. But then later on, when it came to the league stage, One Blade, now they're nowhere to be seen. And I'm not sure what exactly is the main sign of concern for the players. But as we do move on to the second game of the day, which is also going to be the last game of this Day 5, the plane fly path starts all the way from Primorx towards Milta Power, and this plane fly path is tilted heavily down south.
Team Tamilas are going to be super happy this time around, even though there's no 8-bit right now for them to try and fight as well. So they can basically take care of all of the area of Primorsk as well as Ferry Pier just for themselves. While on the other side of the spectrum as well, we've been talking about Mogo a bit. They can also easily take their drop in over towards military base, and since Team Z is not there, there's going to be no one to try and go in for the contest anywhere around the Nova Repnoi. But Milta is somewhere you've got to be worried about, because we always see Revenant take a drop there, and that is basically a drop clash of them with Godlike too. I really want to see where they're going to go in for that drop.
I mean, the plane fly path, once again, as you mentioned, it's really going to be bringing up a lot of those question marks for some of these teams that likes to move up north. Team X Spark themselves, they like to move inside of Yasna Poliana. Even for them, it's going to be a tough challenge. Stretching towards Yasna Poliana is next to impossible, and that's why Team X Spark now is moving down south. That's really smart of Team X Spark. Team X Spark knows that Team Z is not playing in the competition anymore, so Nova Repnoi is going to be up for grabs, and that's where Team X Spark moves. Team Tamilas, as usual, towards Primorx. You've also got Vasista Esports dropping in towards Quarry. Team Forever towards Ferry Pier. That's where they like to go. But Godlike moving in towards Gatka.
That's going to be important this time around as well, because Carnival Gaming is not here now, so
Yeah.
they'd be easily taking that space up. But we've also seen quite a few times how there are some other teams who like to try and go in for the contest, and specifically One Blade, that's there as well. So we might possibly see some early contests, some early aggressions. Even Vasista Esports, they're grabbing a few vehicles to move around. But WSB, they've got the Pochinki all for themselves, because
my God.
Exactly, Carpedium are all the way in Milta.
The circle forms to the opposite side of the plane fly path.
Understandable.
Already the Game Master's trying to come up with some evil plans. And now, looking at the way the entire game's starting to shape up, Godlike, the players, they've got their hands on some vehicles. Even Vasista Esports is on the move. Probably a little bit of contention might just happen here. And Godlike, they're taking a lot of damage upon themselves. One plate, slowly and steadily, starting to hunt down the players of Godlike. Admina already taken down. And Godlike, they just seem really lost. They do not know where they want to go. This has been the main sign of concern for Godlike, not just in this tournament, even in the official tournament that they played in the past.
Did not anticipate that there would be one blade coming in for the contestant as well. And now it seems to be even more difficult for them to try and get a good early start. But for one blade, that's basically something like a dream, right? This team has not been doing that very well, but finally is able to at least find one opener and quickly back off as well, because you know that there could be even more teams around in the vicinity who would eventually try to come in for a third party. So just get one, move away. But Godlike as well as Vasishta Esports, they're all the way going towards the Everest, probably going to cross it and move towards the Georgopol containers or even the city. Because the good thing about that area is, of course, it's inside the circle. So even after the first one ends up, you'd be able to loot in for quite a while out there. But wait a second, Revenant up against the members of Carpadium. Seems like they really want some blood out there, and the bounty is up for the grabs too.
Yeah, Carpadium losing out on 2 players instantly. And for Raven Esports, exactly what they need, right? Now it's time to find the remaining 2 players. And for Raven Esports, once again, this might just be a leap, just like the way Team X-Park took in the previous game. And if the way Raven Esports is able to convert this bounty in their favor, then yeah, it's a really great start. That too in the power play itself, they've already started their hunt against Carpadium. But Carpadium's on the move. They've got their hands on the vehicles. And they instantly run away from this entire area.
The only thing is they don't have their hands on the TVS radar, otherwise they would have had a easy time going out there, because they might as well end up in the clutches of God's Reign, who basically after hearing all of that are also making their moves down south of farm to move in a bit more closer towards Milta.
Oh, one blade. I mean, they took down one of the men from the side of Godlike, and instantly one blade, they start to move away. We talked about Godlike having a bad day, and today's day as well, it starts off in a really bad note for them. Godlike were completely distracted, not knowing exactly where to go. Completely lost. And that's one of the main concerns for them. Or it's been one of the main concerns for them. And now the players of one plate, they start to move in towards the Georgopol city, where they have taken a lot of that damage upon themselves. And one plate, they have been separated. Vasishta Esports, 2 players up against the 2 players of one plate themselves. And Vasishta Esports, they're in the advantage.
But another team that's basically taking on and pressing on their advantage is Team Tamilas against the members of Godlike. And if I'm not wrong, they're on the verge of elimination as well, but Manti falls down. Punk is out there standing up top. Fox needs to win out that fight, needs to chip him down. He's the last remaining member from Team Tamilas. It's down to the last 1v1.
Oh my god. It's getting way too dicey. Oh, anxiety-inducing fight indeed, but eventually it's Punk to come out on top. Team Tamila shut down, and Godlike, they survived to see another day, but at least they got 8 points off the rip.
Crucial 8 points as well, because with that, they're going to cross that 50-point mark. And Jonathan's also going to be kept alive. Punk and Jonathan, these 2 players can do it. These 2 players can pull Godlike back, grab a few extra points for their side. And as long as they stay alive, the hopes are also there. Not a lot of healings though, so they would have to go in for a bit of a loot. They've got quite a few crates around them. Should not be a concern. One thing definitely is for the side of one blade, and that's Vasishta Esports for the concern, because this team carries the bounty. Yes, that's understandable, but at the same time, this team also carries a humongous firepower.
Hold on to that. As OG, even they step inside of the playing field this time. Or maybe you can't say for the first time. OG trying to take advantage of the power play, as there is one team that's just wandering around them, completely lost. Raven Esports and OG can definitely clash. Before now, it's God's Reign looking forward to take a head-on-head fight against OG. And Raven Esports, they might just have the striking advantage, because they can go for the third party and try to take advantage of these 2 teams duking it out against each other. God's Reign pinned inside of the house, while the players of the opposition, they try to wrap around this entire building. But God's Reign, they lose out on one man, and that's Altu. Godsreign slowly and steadily, they're taking too much damage upon themselves as OG. They're starting to clench their fists in this fight. And Godsreign, with just this one last man, not a lot can be done. Even Raven Esports is trying to close on up from the far fray. They want a third party this fight, but OG, they're doing a really good job dealing with both of these foes. And within a flash, Godsreign has been eliminated. Now it's time to shift your focus on Revenant.
Safe is out there watching. AK, he's been playing phenomenally for that watchman duty. Was able to take down Flock from the side of Revenant. So Revenant, they do not want to press the issue any further because Orangutan, they have not taken any kind of damage whatsoever apart from Wiz, just a bit low. But his HP is going to be healing back up as well.
I'm not sure if you've noticed, Raven Esports, they always start off with one man less. For some reason, they lose out on that one single player way too early in the game. And I'm not sure what can be done to counter that. Maybe just ask the man to not overstep some of the boundaries and just play it a little bit more safe and wait for the other players to try and close on up. That's probably the most common thing you can try and tell as an IGL to the player.
Probably at this point.
But it's the IGL himself who got taken down.
Exactly. What if it's the IGL himself who gets taken down? That was my next question coming up.
Well, then he tells himself.
Look in the mirror, look in your eyes. And like, you know, don't overstep whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, you cannot even blame Raven Esports for doing that, though. I mean, it was a clear third party.
It was a
They
good
had
move.
the advantage. It was a really good move, but then it was just OG dealing with the players of Godsreign with ease. Not even breaking a sweat in that duel. And now Raven Esports down to a 3-man squad, but they have managed to claim 3 points so far, so they're looking really comfy. With these 3 finishes, they get 6 points.
But there's another team who's even more happy than them, who've basically got 1 extra member, and that's going to be Orangutan. They've got 8 finishes and all members standing. Orangutan is probably the only team that have brought in the maximum value out of this game's power play without any kind of damage being taken. And it's AK who basically has 3 finishes, so you know that your fragger is also out fragging everyone else. And if AK starts to hit, everyone needs to run.
Looking at the zone. Now that's where we will see those major shifts coming through. Team X Park down south towards Nora Pnoy. Does Mogo Esports moving in towards their way. And this will be a really interesting fight. Outside of the blue, Mogo Esports up against Team X Park. And both of them are quite the formidable competitors. While Mogo Esports, they're doing decent. Team X Park, yeah, the previous game was sort of a torch, was sort of a spark that X Park was looking forward to. And they have found that spark. But now that spark needs to be converted into fire. And it needs to be erupted like a volcano. Team X Park, they do let the players of Mogo Esports just squeeze away around them. They do not want to take the fight just yet. Because they know outside of the blue, way too far away from the zone as well. This fight is going to cost them both the game.
But one other thing is going to be important as Soul. They're looking to try and take the members of Entity down out there, but will finally move over towards the compound where Somraj is also doing a lot of damage. One of the members already pretty low, and that's Nakul himself, one of the top fraggers, and Raiden has been taken out, but Ronnie will fall as well. Answer back coming in the form of Troy.
Aiku Soul always coming up with some rash decisions, and it's not been working out that flawlessly for them. They've been taking too much damage in these early fights.
Oh my
Aiku
God.
Soul, it's clearly visible. They want to take advantage of this power play as one of the men gets ran over. What a move from Same. It was quite insane. But then even Team Soul, they've lost out on too many members themselves. Aiku Soul 2 now starting to face the brunt as Reckoning Esports from the far fray. They want to go in for the third party. Aquanaut spots the man, and he instantly moves on the other side of the compound wall. Aiku Soul, they have been eliminated from the game, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Coming up with some rash decisions. It was not a good decision to take the fight like that.
Very rash indeed, but for now, Reckoning, they've got a good opportunity to try and pounce on few extra elimination points too.
Not just yet. There's still 3 players standing, and it's Entity you're facing off against. You know what Aquanox did last time, right?
That is true. It was Vasishta on the other side, so you might as well want to learn from the other's mistakes. But, I mean, let's be brutally honest. The players are pretty bruised up, and there's one member down on his knees too. And it's a bounty carrying team.
He's back up on his feet, so... Entity.
Now he is. Yep.
You can't say they were on the full force, but then the man gets knocked out and finished once again. OG as well, starting to claim the piece of this pie. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. IQ Soul, they went for quite the exposed fight. And they also started off with a disadvantage, considering they lost a player as soon as they went in for the slam. Entity as well, they took decent bit of damage upon themselves in return too, but in the end it was IQ Soul who lost out on the trades. And that's why now they're outside of the game too. A rough day for IQ Soul. Recovery needs to be there tomorrow. But they're just going to play one single game, so I'm not sure how much of a recovery you can expect from the boys.
But OG are definitely making a good amount of recovery in the meantime, because they've basically taken down a couple of members of Reckoning too. In the meantime, when we are looking at Vasishta Esports, Athanki finds Dinosaurs as well. So that's a big play coming in, because the team who was trying to do the third party has been third partied themselves. But Ninju out in the open as well, just behind the rock, being fired upon from two directions, will fall to Secret.
Vasishta Esports making sure that Team Forever are going to pay for the shenanigans that they try to pull off. And now Vasishta, once again, with evil smirks on their faces, they approach the zone a bit more better. Team Forever on the run. Ash does not want anything to be done with this area, with this vicinity. One blade might just find Ash. Before now, it's Raven Esports out in the open, taking quite a risky rotation. They want to stop the players of Reckoning Esports, who are there in the front lines. But Seth's a little bit too late to pull out the gun.
He had the shotgun in the hand, so unfortunate for him. But Ash, as he was running away, he went into the clutches of one blade, and Anonymous was able to claim that trade. But look at Aquanox on the other side, Entity as well. They're on the run. And it seems like Revenant has brought in the call to try and rendezvous back into the circle itself. They're letting go of Reckoning as well as Entity, and it seems like even OG has decided to go in for the retreat. They're not going in for any kind of chase, but wait a second. As soon as I say it, Athanki strikes the member of Revenant and Blaze is down on his knees.
For some reason, it feels like Raven Esports, they're moving in this competition with a curse on their back. And no matter what fight they try to take, they're just never able to come up with a flawless execution. A fight always starts off with Revenant losing on one player. And once again, that's what happens. This fight begins with Revenant Esports losing out another player. And what a nade that was from Witchshot. It finds Flock too. The man's down on his knees. And now Seth's going to be the last man standing. Not anymore.
Unfortunately, that's not in the power play itself, but it's absolutely fine, right? Because even though Revenant has been finished, look at the amount of finishes Orangutan have got by now. 14 of it already. That's insane.
Yeah, 14 finish points. Insane stuff. And this is exactly what we expected from OG2. This is what we wanted from the boys. And OG now finally starting to get aggressive inside of the game. If you remember yesterday, day before yesterday, OG was playing so passive. They were playing so methodical, tactical. But now today, OG, they're starting to hit on all the deck because they know they're really close to breaching inside of that top 4. If they get a really good day today, they will be in that top 4 with ease.
Surain's interview buff.
Maybe.
I guess he needs to take the interview of the members of Team X-Park as well a bit.
I mean, X-Park, fine. First game was really good. Second game, nothing can be said just yet. They've still got 3 players standing, and anything can happen with these 3 players. Before now, Entity in a big wall of trouble. Aquanox hits the deck. And the opponents in the front, they're now starting to do a lot of that damage. And OG, they're like an unstoppable force of nature.
Look at the amount of finishes of AK in this situation. He's got 7 already, and the man is not stopping. Orangutan eliminating one more team, and it's Entity out of the mixture. Raiden just trying to slam in to save the member, Aquanox, if I'm not wrong. Only to be picked off. And Aru, the IGL himself, out there on the watchman duty, making sure that there's no other team coming in for the third party whatsoever. They've entirely cleared up the full of the eastern part of the circle.
OG is playing with all the emotions let loose. They do not care about the victory anymore. They just care about the finish points. Because they know in BGMS Season 3, if you want to be the victor, you need to be aggressive. You need to be elimination heavy. And OG, they're indeed a powerhouse. They've proved themselves in the past as well. Yeah, the lineup wasn't the same in Team Aru, but in the official tournament, this team was doing quite good. And now move on forward, make a bit of that tweak in OG. It feels like now, once again, the firepower is back in action.
Another thing that's basically back in action is the circle taking some nasty shifts this time around. First was an entire northern circle, and now it's shifted towards the western part. That's not good for OG, if you talk about it. They've got a good amount of finishes, yes, but you want to close it out as well. That on a pretty good note.
OG's like the cleanup crew. They're cleaning the entire blue zone. I mean, look at them. They're not just done yet. I guess they have a little bit of a hunch, knowing the fact that there's going to be someone moving in from down south, and it's the players of Reckoning Esports. And Reckoning, they might just fall prey to OG. I mean, OG, at this point, you might just call them the Bloodhounds, and they're just finding the blood trails of the opponents.
Because they're going in the exact direction of where Aru and Wisjord were.
Yeah, they found the trail.
Oh my god, imagine the wolves being hunted.
I mean, OG, you cannot even call them the Bloodhounds. I guess they're just the apes, the evil apes. Slowly and steadily just devouring anyone that stands against him.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes. You give them
one way to put that.
Give them the weaponries and that's what they do.
Rise of the Wrangle of the OGs.
Possible.
But this zone, it's already starting to accumulate a lot of these teams into itself. You've got WSB, Team X Park playing down south as the Guardian Angels, Vasista Esports on top of the Big Bam Mountain. Then you've got Global Esports as well on the northern side. And Godlike, they're towards that Georgia Pool Apartments area. Punk, the man's just trying to tap away, and a lot of that damage is also being dished out. A confirmation should be there with these, and that's what happens. One blade, they lose out on Kana. And what is one blade even thinking of? The players are moving out in the open like nothing is even going on, like they're on a vacation.
Seems like they've got some different type of armor that we don't know about. Not enough to stop the bullets of Punk, that is. But that's a free finish for the side of Godlike, and you really want to pick up every single one of them as you move along the way. They've got 9 points already, so 9 finish points. I think so that's pretty decent, given the fact how they are currently on the 12th position too. But man, oh man, Orangutan are looking to finish in the top 4 by the end of this game, because look at their rotation. Also moving in from the eastern part, will probably try to take the entry somewhere down south of shooting range and should not face any kind of contest whatsoever. It's an entirely open area, free from any kind of squads whatsoever, apart from Global Esports. But even there, over towards a bit more in a 2-2 split, spread in from north and the west part.
No, man, I want to see Global Esports as well go on a hunt. I mean, we have seen OG wake up. Global Esports, they were playing aggressive in the previous game. But in this game, Global Esports playing quite passive, playing quite tactical.
You know?
Just going for the map control, playing for the bigger picture. Vasista Esports doing the same thing. But Vasista Esports doing this makes a lot of sense, because they know if they get taken down, the opponent somewhere down line, they do have the advantage. That's why Vasista Esports, they're the one on the defensive posture. But Global Esports, they should go aggressive.
There's only one bounty that can be claimed by now, and that's going to be over Vasista itself. A couple of members from Carpadium were taken down by Raven Esports, who were then eliminated by OG. And this circle heavily favors the side of Global Esports as well as the OG itself. They can take care of the entire of the north, west and east part. So it's going to be important to see how the rotations are going to look like for all the teams who are all the way down south. And Vasista have to go a long way and through a lot of teams. One Blade, Godlike, Global Esports, WSB, if they decide to enter directly from the south.
Godlike, they're not doing too bad, right? They've got 9 points so far. So, definitely doing decent. But can be done better. They managed to claim 8 points, the power play itself, and then later on, 1 single point of that player of one blade, Akana, who was completely lost. WSB, they're holding the bridge lines. But I'm not sure how safe they're going to feel holding that. Because there's going to be a lot of those teams breaching in from different angles. At the same time, Carpedium taking shots against Team X-Park. And X-Park, they just found the momentum and already looking forward to lose it. It's not a good news. Sarang on the verge of getting confirmed. And the confirmation follows up. Carpedium, they get the first finish off the game. But once again for Carpedium, it's not about them. It's about teams like Team X-Park, Revenant wanting to make the comeback, but Team X-Park slowly and steadily starting to lose the grip on this game.
It seems like, as you mentioned about Carpedium losing the grip, Athanki might lose on his life. With the way how close he is to the members of Global Esports and how open ground are in front of him. So he's going to be moving backwards after his vehicle tanked in a couple of shots.
All of that is fine, but then Godlike, they're right in between of Global Esports. And I'm not a big fan of what Godlike is trying to pull off. They can be in a big pinch if they do not move away right now.
Okay.
OG, they're starting to take some damage upon themselves. This time it's going to be the players of one blade, as KSR is able to find one man. But the confirmation's looking really tough to convert. They're constantly spamming that vehicle. It's going to blow up soon. Smokes is starting to bloom as well. The man gets taken down eventually. But Carpedium now up against the players of Team X-Park. The fight continues. And Bakar, he's looking forward to deliver that final finishing blow. Utilities tossed right on top of Bakar. Spots out Ninja Chart. The man's out in the open. Bakar's taken down way too low. He tosses that nade. But his hands are too busy cooking that nade up. And that's where Ninja gets the advantage.
Beautiful advantage coming in for the man himself. But how is he going to play it now is going to be the big question, because there's a team already trying to gatekeep him. And it's going to be WSB. There's also Reckoning out in the vicinity as well. There's absolutely no way for Team X-Park to survive this one. Spray God will be claimed by the play zone itself, so he would probably now just try and play for the heal strat, as WSB also being fired upon. A few shots and he's two out in the open.
Oh no.
Sarkar gets him down.
I'm loving this play from One Blade. They know they've got a really good stance. They're taking shots all across the board against all sort of teams. Vasista Esports' Shadow OG still somehow manages to escape this spot. Oh, this man gets away unscathed. Not even a single bullet connected. All thanks to that Bugatti.
The vehicle's about to blow up, that one thing is. But yeah,
it is delicate, but it's quick.
As long as the man survives.
That's all that matters.
And that's what even WSB were looking forward to. Bringing their man back on the feet as well, as Vashista's bounty is still claimable. I'm going to say it as long as they've got all players standing.
Hands down. Makes sense. Or even Vasista can be the one to win the game, so...
You may never know.
Bounty defended. At the same time, got extra bit of points with them. Team X-Park, they get finished with 10 points in the pockets. Not that bad of an outing.
True indeed. But WSB?
Yeah, WSB looking forward to make that pounce against the players of Vasista Esports. But the bounty's looking way too tough to be claimed. And WSB, some late ejects, but still, one single man gods. He strikes down two players. And that's where the fairy tale ends.
Secret with that nasty spray.
Global Esports, the only way they can claim this bounty is by shutting down the players who are knocked out. They need to get the confirmation on the knocked players and then take down the man who's alive. That's the only way they can get the additional 10 points. But as Global Esports, they were distracted by Vasista from the back. It's going to be the Apes hitting them back.
It's Beast and Ninja Boy remaining right now. They need to make sure to keep their last man alive as well. That's Slug, who's all the way down on his knees. Aru with the off angle could eventually find a pick if Ninja Boy moves out of those smokes too. This nade needs to find a confirmation as well. AKOP a bit too far ahead. Slug is also providing the information as to where he is. Ninja Boy out in the smoke itself. AKOP runs in with the DBS in hand, gets another one. This man cannot be stopped in this lobby.
Hold on, it's Beast himself, the Clutch Meister, being put in a clutch scenario. Yeah, the man softened up a little bit, but then you're talking about Beast himself. This man's proved himself time and time in some official tournaments as well. But this time, he gets put to sleep. The Apes, they come out on top. What a beautiful timing that was. While Global Esports was busy taking shots against the players of Assista Esports, that's where the Apes, they started a strike.
Hold on a second now. Again, Orangutan, yes, they have won the fight, but they're no way in safe position. I was about to say there's Jonathan and Punk remaining, and on the other side, you've got the members of One Blade, so they can technically get pincered in this open ground. Just a couple of hills that can actually save you, and maybe nothing apart from that. As Assista Esports, they kind of lose the man as well, Apollo. Reckoning look like in the prime position to try and take this home, but Jonathan, he needs to land a couple of nades as well.
Oh my God!
His nade gets two. It's only AK remaining now.
Yeah, one gift and it finds two players. And now AKOP all by himself against the Force himself. Jonathan. Even Jonathan is quite bruised up. The man's quite scratched up.
Oh, this nade could do it.
Pulls out another nade. He's still got 4 nades in his arsenal. One single nade might just find the entire confirmation. Unfortunately, it's an overshoot. But still, this shot gets confirmed. And now OG, 2 players back on the feet. But Jonathan, he gets taken down by AKOP from OG himself.
This man is matching up all the top fraggers in just one game itself. He's got 9 finishes, Necro. That is bonkers.
Yeah.
Teams do it in 2 different games. He said 1 is enough for me.
I mean, AKOP, you talk about that one single monstrous game where you really start to feel the groove, but then he oversteps. Overconfidence has always been the major disappointments for some of the big performances. And once again, that might just come through. OG, AKOP, if he's back up on his feet, maybe you can't say the hopes will be reignited once again. But Reckoning Esports, even they're quite the powerhouse. You cannot rule them out just yet. We had a conversation about One Blade too, and look at One Blade. They've got the man advantage in this entire final few moments, and if One Blade, they play this properly, they can be the one to come out on top. But unfortunately, the players do not really have a good playing stance.
The nade finally confirms AKOP as well, so it's just Aru remaining from the side of Orangutan. And the circle is not helping whatsoever. Only One Blade can after they keep on fighting with the members of Reckoning. Bruised up everyone in this lobby, but Reckoning really need this opening, and oh my God, Sarkar spotted out, finished off. Aru is technically taking down the members. Orangutan with 18 finishes already, and Aru, the IGL himself, is stepping things up slowly and steadily.
18 and counting.
1v2.
2 more claimable in the front. Aru himself, he's pulled off these type of clutches so many times in the past, but unfortunately this time the gods themselves, they're not with Aru. The zone shifts away in the favor of Reckoning Esports. And for Reckoning too, keep this thing in mind, they're quite desperate for this entire game as well. For Aru, the man needs to head back. And if he clutches this, it will indeed be the clutch of the day. And Aru's looking forward to find that highlight moment. He knows exactly where Immortal is, but then an 8 sails in from Immortal, and it's going to find the right spot. Reckoning Esports, they claim the chicken dinner, but then still, it's OG who completely overshadowed every single team's performance in this game.
18 finishes, out of which 9 were for AKOP. 50% team fight contribution after having 9 finishes. It is just bonkers for this team. They probably have already claimed a 30-35 point a game for themselves.
Remarkable, iconic. No matter what sort of words you try to use to glorify the performance AKOP has put up, it's less. Let's move on to the stage for a short interview with the boys.
Alright guys, congratulations. Chicken dinner आपको मिला है इस दूसरे मैचअप में, आज के आखिरी मैचअप में. यार हमने आपको टॉप 4 में भी देखा था, लेकिन वो चिकन डिनर निकालना जो है वो मुश्किल पड़ रहा था. व्रत टूट गया?
टूट गया बिल्कुल, और अच्छा स्टार्ट मिल गया है, तो अब देखते हैं आगे के पॉइंट भी गैदर करेंगे और टॉप 4 में आने का ट्राई करेंगे.
लास्ट में हमने आपके साथ में वन ब्लेड को भी देखा, ठीक है, और वो काफ़ी ओरंगुटान की भी एक प्लेयर बचे हुए थे, लेकिन वो फाइट जो है इट वाज लाइक अ 3-वे डांस। तो उस टाइम पे क्या कहीं पे भी ऐसा एक मोमेंट था वेयर यू फेल्ट दैट नर्वस हो रहे हैं, क्योंकि AKOP वाज इन एब्सोल्युटली डेडली फॉर्म।
लेकिन उनकी मतलब जगह मतलब जो उनकी थी ना वो उतनी स्ट्रॉन्ग मतलब अच्छी जगह नहीं थी उनके पास, तो फिर हम लोगों को पता ही था कि मतलब उन पर अच्छी जगह नहीं है, तो उस हिसाब से खेल लिया हमने।
यू नो ओरंगुटान के 18 फिनिशेस थे, ठीक है, AKOP की भी हमने बात की, मोमेंटम उनके पास था, जोन में आपके पास जगह बहुत कम थी, तो उस मोमेंटम को ब्रेक कैसे किया आपने?
देखो हम वही मैं बता रहा हूँ कि हमारी जो पोजीशन थी ना वो हमें पता था कि मतलब हमारे उनको आना पड़ेगा, तो हम लोग वहाँ से गेम निकाल लिए, इसलिए ईजी था।
लुक एज अ टीम आप लोग स्ट्रांग हैं, हमने बात बताई कि आप टॉप 4 का भी हिस्सा रह चुके हैं, अब आपने एक चिकन डिनर भी निकाला है, लेकिन वो थोड़ी सी इनकन्सिस्टेंसी जो है वो दिखाई दी है। इस मोमेंट से, इस पॉइंट से अगर आगे बढ़ना है, सफ़र तय करना है, हाउ डू यू गेट स्ट्रॉन्गर?
देखो हम लोग तो अभी खुद चीज़ें ट्राई कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि ये वाला जो फेज़ है सर्वाइवल वीक जो है, तो हम चीज़ें ट्राई कर सकते हैं, इसलिए आपने देखा होगा हमारा रोस्टर बार चेंज कर रहे हैं हम लोग, सारे प्लेयर्स को मौका दे रहे हैं, सारे प्लेयर को ट्राई कर रहे हैं, तो इस चक्कर में इनकन्सिस्टेंसी है, लेकिन जैसे ही ग्रैंड फाइनल्स आएगा हम लोग अपने मेन फॉर्म में आ जाएंगे।
भाई यही तो प्रॉमिस है कि जैसे ही ग्रैंड फाइनल आएगा तो इनका फॉर्म जो बिल्कुल ऐसा ही दिखेगा जो इस मैच में दिखा, जहाँ इन्होंने निकाला चिकन डिनर। कंग्रेचुलेशंस टू द टीम। बैक टू द ब्रेक, ओह सॉरी, अभी लेंगे ब्रेक, वापस लौटेंगे।
रेकनिंग हमारा नाम है और हर टीम को रैक करना हमारा काम है। अनलीश द रेकनिंग।
Red Bull gives you wings.
Wow. Circle to search. Only on Android.
Another day, another road, and we go. Arrive with a win, moving up, we know where to begin. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Arrive we go. Wicked on the wheels, get wicked on the wheels. Another day, another road, and we go.
What's the worst that could happen? What's the best that could happen? Philips One Blade. Move fearlessly. Innovation and you. Philips. Red Bull gives you wings.
Time to test the waters. Tell me how you wanna lead. Now you hear me roll like raw in my beastly mode. Now, wow. Wicked unleashed. That's wicked. All the cuts and the curves. So wicked. Take what you deserve. It's wicked.
TVS Raider, unleash your wicked.
Everywhere I go, dirt and pollution dull my skin.
Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash with charcoal and vitamin C deeply cleanses dirt and pollution for instantly bright skin. Try the #1 men's face wash in India. Garnier Men Turbo Bright Double Action Face Wash by Garnier Men.
What's up, everyone? Come on in.
I got 100 ways that I could make you look. You cannot read me, I ain't no page in a book. But there's 100 ways that I could make you look.
Wow.
Make you look.
Wow.
Look, make you look.
To live your life the way you want. Compete like the toughest challenger. Dance like there's no tomorrow. Celebrate every second you are alive. Life has no rule books, but we can give you a stage.
I mean, Reckoning Esports, they definitely did find that sweet sigh of relief before OG. That was a nuclear performance. And now you talk about the momentum. It's going to be in the hands of so many teams. Team Z, you've also got OG, you've also got Reckoning Esports. And the best part is every single team, we know what they're capable of. They're absolute powerhouses. They can hit back the lobby really hard.
And I wouldn't even keep Vasista Esports out of that conversation as well, because they were in quite precarious spot. Even after that, they were able to manage, they managed to get out something out of that situation. But honestly,
my God, of course.
Yeah, there's no other way you can put it. AK had to be the MVP this time around.
9 finishes, 50% finish contribution, even though his team managed to gather so many finishes. And let's move on towards the stars of the match. Even best companion, it's going to be AKOB. And then you move on towards the finisher, it's going to be Immortal with just 3 finishes. But as you really brought up a good point, this man is probably going to be at the top of the fraggers list as well. Knuckle, he might have just been dethroned.
Absolutely, because I don't think Soul were able to get a lot of eliminations out there, right?
Absolutely
and even AKOP's consistent performance made Orangutan receive that 28 points. I feel so very bad, just 2 point shy of that 30-point banger.
But nothing taken away from Team X Spark and One Blade 2, slowly and steadily rising back up from the ashes, and this is exactly what we needed. Now let's move on towards the latter half of the board, and that's where we will be able to see a lot of those disappointments on the last game of the day. Aiku Soul, for some reason, always coming up with these rash decisions, and it's just not working out for them. The same thing can be said for Mogo Esports. Team Timiles, yeah, the aggression, they're trying to bring in that mix, but it's not working out too well.
It just seems that in this situation, Knuckle, even though his individual performance is amazing, but as a team, the decision making that he's trying to pull in those pressure situations of the power plays is something that is lacking, and that's why you really need a full-fledged IGL for your team to lead the way. That is one big problem that I can see for the side of Soul. For Team Tamilas, I understand. It's absolutely fine. Sometimes they win, sometimes they don't. But unfortunately for Revenant this time around, I really wanted to see them hunt for that bounty against Carpedium, where the last 2 members just ran away.
Yeah, they just let him go. And then later on, even Godlike, they found themselves in a bit of that tricky shoes. This fight between the players of Godsreen and Orangutan, where Raven Esports, they try to come up with the third party, but then it just backfired against them. Sensei was caught out in the open. I'm not sure what the game plan was, but in my opinion, all the players, they should have just straight up slammed their vehicles towards the compound, tossed in a few nades here and there, and then maybe Raven Esports would have instantly got themselves in the advantage. But a miscalculation, a miscommunication came through from them. And then moving on forward, Global Esports tried to take the advantage of the distracted teams in the front. OG already did so when the opponents were distracted, which was Global Esports, towards Vasista.
That is indeed true. And As you mentioned, it was basically Jonathan and his nades who kind of spoiled the game for the orangutans. Otherwise, the chicken might have been theirs. But even after that, managing to grab that second position and in that prime area where you know you will be targeted from multiple teams, Aru was still able to capture one of them. But all in all, Reckoning with their good positioning did not get overwhelmed by what AKOP was bringing on the table. So yes, they managed to get that chicken.
I mean, AKOP in the final few moments, the man got overheated because he knew that, he's oozing up with a lot of those confidence, and also he had so many eliminations to back himself up with. So overconfidence, it's understandable, but the man overheated and overpeaked that angle for too long.
Yes.
And that's where Reckoning Esports showcased that, we do have some young guns, and we've got a lot of that firepower to convert in some eliminations and also some finishing blows. They also took down one blade, they took down OG as well in the end, and they secured that chicken dinner. But it does not matter because OG is still going to be at the top of the charts, man.
28 points with that chicken, and that is without any bounty, but just a few extra points from the power play itself. 8-bit starting the evening off. That was a very fun moment, offering the Red Bull to the chair out there. Mac not joining in yet. Again, the injury has not yet healed properly, so he's going to be stepping out. But even after that, I would still say 8-bit, they are in a rough position.
I mean, you really got to give it to the lads of 8-bit, man, especially Aditya. Always fun. This man is always in a big jolly mood. This man is super fun. That's why I love the guy, dude. Even he's quite good inside of the game. Sometimes, even he tends to overstep some boundaries. Even he has those inconsistent days. But in general, he's quite a fun guy, quite a jolly guy. Moving in towards the game of Sanhok, Team Z, at least they were able to claim that chicken dinner. The patience paid off, but then the real question still lies. Is tomorrow's day going to be the same way, or are we going to see the same old Team Z where the inconsistency once again pops up?
I really want to see them becoming consistent as well, even if it's not just about those chicken dinners, but at least about those frags, those fights, because not every single day is going to be your day. Not every single day you're going to have the circle form onto you and the teams would have to slam onto you. And since we're already talking about some slammings, right, I like the way how Revenant kind of changed the pace of the game. The new Carpedium were around in the vicinity and they were like, it's alright, we're going to take that fight. But Punk, really hats off for the man. Exactly. Just peeking around the angle only a little bit and getting that shot landed.
Quick reaction time and also the pre-fires helped the man to secure that duel. And then later on, even Entity got eliminated. Today's day for Entity wasn't too hot. But even the same thing can be said for a lot of those teams. Even Team Forever was not able to do that great, right? Even Team Forever was getting shut down over and over again. So in general, a decent amount of teams were not able to perform, but then even Global Esports, especially in the game of Sanhok, they popped off. OG in the game of Wrangle, they popped off. But then you move on forward towards some of the teams that were able to perform really well, which was Wasista in the past couple of days. Even today's day for Wasista, it was quite average.
Yes, that's what I wanted to point out as well. It was not like greatest of the days. It was, yes, a bit on the rougher end of the spectrum, but also since you talked about the lineup of Entity, I want to say the same thing of the Carpedium as well. They had a rough start.
Indeed, not just a rough start, even a rough end. Because they only had 2 players left alive in that game of Wrangle off the rip because Raven Esports, they made the slamming against them. Standout player of the day, who else is it going to be? Of course it's AKOP with 9 finishes in one single game. And as we mentioned, the man is also going to be at the top of the chart when it comes to the leaderboard.
Absolutely. Unless, of course, Knuckles still has got his individual performance up with a few extra finishes.
I don't think so, man. Ikusol was getting shut down instantly.
I still think that maybe in the game of Sanhok, he was able to get a 1 or 2. But yeah, I mean, AKOP, he's obviously on the top.
Yeah, well, you know what? Let's move on to the interview where all the questions will be answered.
Bro, Android BGMS Season 3, powered by Garnier Menpe, Standout Player of the Day. I think this doesn't do justice to what he has done. Until now, जो हमने season देखा है, he's probably got to be the standout player of the season. 9 finishes. We got AKOP in the house. Brother, good to have you. यार 9 finishes and जो all-time record है BGMS में, वो Jonathan का था 12 का. तुम 9 पे थे. क्या कहीं पे किसी ने चिल्लाते हुए बोल दिया भाई all-time record बन सकता है आज?
नहीं, वैसे तो मुझे पता ही नहीं था कि 12 फिनिशेस का रिकॉर्ड है. पता होता तो शायद मैं और मार लेता. बट अभी बता दिया तो नेक्स्ट टाइम मार लेंगे. बट ऐसा कुछ किसी ने चिल्लाया नहीं.
एंड आज जब हमने विज गॉड के साथ शुरुआत में बात की थी तो हमने बताया था कि तुम्हारी टीम जो है वो 11वें स्पॉट पे. डू यू नो अब तुम्हारी टीम कौन से स्पॉट पे आ गई?
नहीं, मतलब पॉइंट्स टेबल मैं सिर्फ फाइनल्स का देखता हूँ. अभी का देख के क्या मतलब.
याद दिलाऊं पिछले फाइनल्स की कहानी. अच्छा ठीक है, ओके ओके ओके. अब तुम्हारी टीम जो है वो पहुंच गई है 3rd स्पॉट पे, विच इज इनसेन. बट अ बिग क्वेश्चन, कि जब आप वो टॉप 4 की बात करें, हाँ भाई बाउंटी, अब बाउंटी जो है मुझे लगता है कि दो धारी तलवार है, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली यू आर वन ऑफ द बेस्ट टीम्स इन द फ्रे, लेकिन उसके साथ में सारी जो बाकी टीम्स हैं वो आपको बुलजाय बना के रखती हैं. सो इज दैट अ गुड थिंग और अ बैड थिंग?
इट्स अ बोथ थिंग, एडवांटेज भी है और डिसएडवांटेज भी है. अगर आप अच्छा मार रहे हो, अगर आपको खुद पे ट्रस्ट है तो आप मारोगे, कोई भी आए, फिर मतलब 1 आए 2 आए 3 आए आन दो. बट अगर आपका कॉन्फिडेंस खुद पे ही नहीं है तो तुम सबसे बड़ा टारगेट तुम ही रहोगे, सबसे पहले मरने वाले.
यार यू नो, एक एनालॉजी के नाम पे अगर बोलूं, जब आपके 9 फिनिशेस आज आए हैं, इट्स लाइक हम जो क्रिकेट में देखते हैं, एक बंदे ने ऐसा लाइक शतक मारा है लेकिन उसकी टीम जो है वो मैच नहीं जीत पाई, आप उस फाइनल हर्डल को क्रॉस नहीं कर पाए, तो कहाँ चूक हुई उस मैच में?
मतलब मैच में तो चूक नहीं हुई, बस इतना बोलूँगा कि
भाई एक सेकंड, भाई शर्मा रहा है,
श्रावण चल रहे हैं.
अच्छा तो नो चिकन, ऑलराइट, गुड, कांग्रेचुलेशंस बॉयज, वी गोइंग टू गो बैक. ये चिकन वाली बात मेरे को लगता है कि थोड़ी लंबी चलने वाली है.
Such a fun interview with AKOP. Of course, the man's looking super confident. And why would you not look confident when you've claimed 9 finishes? And that's going to be the highest finish count so far in the Season 3.
That is indeed true. And that is just in one game, man. It's not
Yeah.
even in all the games combined. It's like, you know what? Yeah, Jonathan made those 9 finishes in 2 games. I'm going to make sure I'm going to do it in one game itself. But yeah, it's absolutely fine. Even if you don't get the chicken, it's totally okay. If your team is performing like that, just out of your mind, I still don't want to take anything away from Aru or Atanki as well.
I mean, look, it doesn't matter how well AKOP played in-game, but then Surain just clutched that 1v1 duel against AKOP with that one single line. AKOP said that, yeah, I do not really look at the overall boards in this league stage. Finals is what matters to me. And then Surain just mentioned, yeah, do you remember what happened in Season 2? You want to look at that board? And then AKOP had no comeback after that. He was almost about to leave, by the way.
I know, right? I know. I would have done. I would have just left up at that point already. But all fun and games already. Again, it seems that if this kind of performance continues, Orangutan are definitely looking as a top favorites to make it in the top 4 and directly move into the finals, skipping the entire playoffs.
Hands down. I mean, OG, this should be the same way they keep on playing. But let's move on to a game-breaking segment.
जब तक मेरे भाई कास्ट कर रहे थे, मैं सारा फाइट ब्रेक डाउन कर रहा था. नमस्कार दोस्तों, आप सभी का स्वागत है एंड्रॉइड BGMS ब्रेकिंग पॉइंट के अंदर. आज हम ब्रेक डाउन करने वाले 2 बहुत ही बेहतरीन फाइट्स जो हमने सैनॉक में देखी थी. तो जो हमारा फर्स्ट फाइट रहने वाला है, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी बिटवीन ग्लोबल ई-स्पोर्ट्स वर्सेस वशिष्ठा ई-स्पोर्ट्स. हमने नोटिस किया था कि वशिष्ठा ई-स्पोर्ट्स ने ऑलरेडी अपने कुछ खिलाड़ी गंवा दिए थे. ग्लोबल ई-स्पोर्ट्स की पोजीशनिंग की तरफ देखिए, यहाँ पे 3-1 का स्प्लिट है. वशिष्ठा ई-स्पोर्ट्स एक बढ़िया क्रॉसफायर इन्होंने सेटअप कर रखा था. उसके बाद अगर हम आगे बढ़े इस क्लिप के अंदर, आप देखिएगा कि ग्लोबल ई-स्पोर्ट्स के जो खिलाड़ी हैं ये यहाँ से ऊपर आ रहे हैं और यहाँ पे शैडो जो है अपना पोजीशन दे बैठेंगे. इसी पॉइंट पे निंजा बॉय यहाँ पे कुछ शॉट्स लेंगे, फिर शैडो यहाँ पे आके छिप जाएंगे, फिर स्लग विल थ्रेड द नीडल और यहाँ पे वो पहला नॉक निकालेंगे. ठीक उसके बाद हम देखेंगे जब क्लिप आगे बढ़ेगा कि यहाँ पे शैडो तो चलिए नॉक हो गए, इसके बाद फिर ट्रेड गेम्स की बात आ जाती है. अपोलो देखिए आर्कलिन अंदर आए थे, अपोलो ने ये नॉक तो निकाल लिया. उसके बाद जो ट्रेड पोटेंशियल थी ग्लोबल ई-स्पोर्ट्स की वो A1 थी. आखिरी बचे थे विक्स की, इनको भी फिनिश ऑफ किया और वो फाइट जीता. जो हमारा फाइनल फाइट था लेकिन जहाँ पे टीम जी ने चिकन डिनर निकाला था वो काफ़ी लाजवाब था. इट वाज अ 3-वे स्टैंड ऑफ. यहाँ पे टीम 0 नजर आती थी, यहाँ पे टीम रेवनेंट के 2 खिलाड़ी थे एंड ग्लोबल ई-स्पोर्ट्स दे वर इन अ वेरी बैड पोजीशन. तो हमने फिर क्या किया, अब टीम जी के पास आप देखिए दे हैव द फुल एक्सेस. अगर बात करें देखिए यहाँ से यहाँ सब एक दूसरे को देख सकते हैं. अब हुआ क्या कि टीम जी के पास इतना बढ़िया एवेन्यू है कि यहाँ पे तो 2 प्लेयर्स को नॉक कर दिया. अब सेंसे चाह रहे थे कि यहाँ पे कुछ फिनिशेस चुराए, बट दैट डिड नॉट हैपन. फिर जब हम देखेंगे कि स्लग काफ़ी देर तक यहाँ पे जिंदा थे, इनके पास एक हल्का सा वो रेज एडवांटेज था, डिड नॉट मैटर. नाउ दिस इज वेयर द रियल ब्रेकडाउन हैपेंस. अब अगर आप फॉर्मेशन देखिए, रेवनेंट के खिलाड़ी यहाँ पे, टीम जी के खिलाड़ी यहाँ पे मौजूद है. अब एंगल्स कैसे कैसे बन रहे थे अगर हम नोटिस करें, अगर सेंसे चाहते थे यहाँ से एंगल बना सकते थे, फ्लॉक के पास यहाँ पे एंगल था. सिमिलरली टीम जी के पास यहाँ पे एंगल, यहाँ पे एंगल. हाई ग्राउंड एडवांटेज है रेवनेंट के पास. बट उसके बाद ठीक हुआ क्या, स्काउट ने यहाँ पे एक बहुत अच्छी चीज करी. स्काउट ने पूरा जो विजन है यहाँ पे सेंसे के ऊपर ताक के रखा. उसके चलते सेंसे ने क्या किया, थोड़ी देर में यहाँ पे एक स्मोक बना लिया. थोड़ा आगे आएंगे, इनफैक्ट आपको जो स्मोक है वो इस जगह पे दिखेगा. अगर हम क्लिप को जो आगे प्ले करेंगे, आप देख सकते हो कि सारे जो खिलाड़ी है ना वो धीरे धीरे फ्लॉक की तरफ पुश करेंगे. क्लियर साइट है, स्काउट पीछे रह रहे हैं, बाकी 3 खिलाड़ी पुश कर रहे हैं। यहाँ पे फ्लॉक के पास 3 ग्रेनेड्स थे और उसका एक तो चलिए उन्होंने डाला, हल्का फुल्का डैमेज दिया था। उसके बाद एक खिलाड़ी जो थे उनको उन्होंने डाउन किया, बट सेम टाइम पे एडी का बहुत ही बढ़िया नेड आया। अब देखिए सेंसे भी आगे जा चुके हैं और यहाँ पे ये जो क्रूशियल स्मोक था इन्होंने डाल दिया। अब ये थोड़ा सा मुश्किल इसीलिए हो गया क्योंकि जो सेंसे का जो विजन है यहाँ से वो ब्लॉक हो गया। अब वो चाह रहे थे कि अपने आप को बचा के रखे, बट इनफॉर्चुनेटली वो अपने टीममेट को ही कवर फायर दे नहीं पाए। बट जब आगे बढ़ेंगे इस क्लिप के अंदर विल नोटिस कि अब फ्लॉक के ऊपर पूरा दारमोदार है। अब सारी टीम पुश करेगी। अब देखिए काइलो का तो नॉक निकाल लिया था, वो इंस्टेंट ट्रेड आ गया था। अब सेंसे के पोजीशन के बारे में सबको पता था, आइडिया था, एंड स्काउट भी धीरे धीरे इसके बाद पुश कर जाएंगे। और इसी तरीके से यहाँ पे टीम जी ने बहुत ही शानदार चिकन डिनर निकाला और हम सबका दिल खुश कर लिया। इनफैक्ट सारे फैंस का दिल खुश कर लिया क्योंकि टीम जी का एक जो अबंडेंस चल रहा था कि हाँ चिकन डिनर नहीं आ पा रही थी, फाइनली हमने निकाल दिया और होपिंग सो कि आगे जाके और बेहतरीन खेले। सो दिस वाज द ब्रेकिंग पॉइंट। ओवर टू माय बॉयज।
This is what I meant by a great game-breaking segment. Fixes was there to break down the play. And not just that, even break down the gameplay. Yeah, in the final few moments, Team Z, they made the patience work out for themselves, right? Considering they knew they had the man advantage, they knew exactly what to do against the players of Revenant, and they knew exactly where both the players are positioned too. And that's how Scout made the call-outs and the rest of the players, they made the push happen.
I like the idea as well because again, Team Z was struggling a little bit left, right and center in those gunfights. We've been seeing that from day one itself. So yes, taking it slow is exactly what you needed and they worked out perfectly, and that too in unison.
Exactly. I mean, for Team Z, that's a great start. But are we going to see the same thing repeat itself tomorrow? Or are we going to see Team Z once again back to the basics where Team Z is not able to find themselves that good consistent point? Moving forward, TVS Raider is our mobility partner. It's not just all about the looks. There's a Smart Connect version with the 99 connected features. And guess what? It apparently comes with a 5-inch TFT screen. Isn't that super wicked?
It absolutely is. And imagine, it's the man AK sitting on it.
Of
the
course.
most wicked person who was in the entire map of Erangel today. 9 finishes, I still can't wrap my head around that. And he could have probably got more, if not for that couple of overheat situations. And also Godlike playing in as a spoiler.
As I mentioned, that was a nuclear performance from OG. And even you really got to give it to Aru as well, man. He's quite the young IGL, slowly and steadily starting to recover inside of the games too. He's went through a bit of that roster change. Even though these small tweaks can really affect you as an IGL because you never know what the new player has to offer. You never know what the play style is. Yeah, these guys have been competing against each other for years now. So maybe you can't say there was a rough idea in the head of Aru. So that's why it's getting quite easy for this man to sort of adjust.
Yes, I really like the idea as well. And honestly, I mean, when the tournament will go on and we will see OG get even more comfortable with this kind of IGLing, you know that this team's performance will increase like anything. But hey, guess what? Vashishta is back again, claiming their first spot, and it's Orangutan now, pushing down both Entity and Carpadium to enter in that top 3.
But this is where the real problem now lies for Vasista Esports. Look at the cushion we were talking about. It's not there anymore. Just 13 points separating that first and the second spot. And then look at Raven Esports and OG. 1 point separating them. Entity and OG, they're tied up. The only reason why OG is currently at the top above the players of Entity is because the placement points, they're prioritized more compared to the elimination. Latter half of the board is there too. And Godlike, they're still sitting on the 11th spot. Aiku Soul on 17th. 2 fan favorite teams on the latter half of the board. And the defending champions are there too.
That's a big problem right there. And honestly, Aiku Soul's positioning has been decreasing by the day. They were in the bottom 6 when we began the things, and now they're in the bottom 4 itself. So yes, I mean, I think so. It's about time that we will see Manya's entry, and maybe we'll see the entire team's performance boost up, right? Because this was the entire storyline of the day.
Yeah.
How changing the IGL is technically boosting your team's performance.
I mean, I heard rumors around the arena saying that Manya is going to be back in the playing field, but unfortunately that was not the case. Manya is not playing today. Maybe tomorrow he can be back in action once again because Salme and his boys are definitely taking some harsh decision where Aiku Soul is not able to come out on top in those early game duels. But we know every single player in that entire lineup is capable of a lot of stuff, but just the driver isn't able to make the proper call outs.
And here we go. Finally, The most wicked player's spot has been stolen away by AKOP. Nakul also now tying things up with Maxi OP, who's on number 3, and Aquanox, who's at number 4. Max himself will be sitting on 18. Not a very good day coming in for the side of Carpedium, but a massacre by AK.
Yeah, Carpedium definitely struggling, but look at AKOP, as I mentioned. 25 finishes, right? 5 more finish points compared to the man who's right behind him. And then you move on towards the latter half, and you see Ninja Jod with 17. Team X Park slowly and steadily definitely getting closer. Gamla Boy not that far behind, even he's got 17. All it takes is that one single good performance, just like AKOP, and even these guys can be instantly in the driver's seat. But right now, AKOP, he has got the advantage. He's got the cushion.
That is indeed true. A big cushion coming in for their side, but not a very big cushion if you talk about the leaderboard starting from the first position right away till God's Reign, Pro Lane, somewhere around 7th or 8th. Just a few points, maybe a one good game, and the entire leaderboard's gonna fumble out, and that's what you really love about it. And honestly, I want to see Team X Park join that as well, because if I'm not wrong, this is one of the team that has got few of the most knocks which were not converted into finish. So just a few things to change, few things to step up, and I think so they'd be back in the driver's seat.
I mean, Team Z started off in quite the nice note. Then later on, OG, they dominated the second game of the day, but still question marks remains on some of the fan favorite teams. IQ Soul, Godlike, Carnival Gaming, Mogo Esports, the defending champions of the Season 2, still not able to find their groove. Especially IQ Soul stepping inside of this tournament. So many fans thought that they will probably be the one to lift the trophies, but now looking at the performance that they have showcased, a lot of those confident moves have now turned into question. Looking at Team X Park, yes, up till now they were struggling, but today's day definitely ignited the hopes back in the hearts of the fans. We do not know what tomorrow is going to be having, but one thing is for sure, the action will be even quite incredible, right?
Absolutely. It's going to be action-packed evening as well coming in once we'll move on to the next day, because almost all the teams now have played the 8 games, and slowly and steadily, even though this is an entire marathon, every single day needs to be treated as a sprint, and that's exactly what was on the minds of the players of Team Z and Orangutan, who were slowly and taking that big leap, even Global Esports.
Exactly my point. Even Global Esports, they had a really good first game. Even God's Reign had quite a decent game, right? With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, today's day comes to an end. That's going to be it from my side and Shaishanu. We'll see you guys tomorrow.